but he never put up a substantial total that was really knocking everybody out of the park.
Fox's Chad Program on Capitol Hill. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're hurting your kids, so he's going after them. Radar's clear, cloudy skies, 78 degrees. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Indiana is suing Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. Attorney General Todd Rokita says Meta purposely tries to get your kids addicted to its platforms, which hurts their mental health. Indiana is one of 33 states suing Meta. Police shooting number 13. A man was on the run from Indianapolis Metro Police when he climbed a tree, demanded the cops shoot him, and then he reached for his pocket, police claim.
It's concerning on both the police and the community. You know, officers who have to go through this experience have to go through, what no one would want.
IMPD Deputy Chief Kendall Adams, the man is critical at the hospital. Indianapolis police also had their hands full Monday night. Sasha Nixon reports on 2 separate fatal shootings.
The first shooting happened a few minutes before 9 p.m. Indy Metro Police say they were called to an apartment building on West Ray Street, where they found a male who had been shot. He died at the scene, and police say they have identified a suspect. The second shooting happened a few minutes before 10 p.m. on Osceola Lane. IMPD says the woman was originally in extremely critical condition, but she later died. They have also arrested another male suspect in connection with this shooting. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana gas down 3 cents from last week. $3.27 is your average, says AAA. The housing shortage is top priority for the mayor of Kokomo.
I'm Ryan Hedrick, and that's because the city will soon be home to a second EV battery plant.
We were short on supply before the announcement of the first battery plant and had shifted gears as a city administration to focus on housing.
Tyler Moore tells Inside Indiana Business that Kokomo is partnering with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation to find a solution to find people homes. Ryan Hedrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Your time is 3:04. You've got traffic and weather up next.
Electric vehicles are here to stay. And if you're looking for an electric vehicle, Andy Moore Ford is your EV headquarters. More selection. Get to Andy Moore Ford to shop the Mach-E, the E-Transit, the F-150 Lightning in stock, and more arriving daily. Save more at the pump when you switch to an Andy Moore Ford EV. Say hello to more rebates with federal and state incentives. You could save more. How's over $7,500 sound to you? But the benefits don't end there. Purchasing an EV with Andy Moore means you can take advantage of excellent services like more to your door, more peace of mind, with over a decade of experience in selling and servicing electric vehicles. Andy Moore Ford's EV experts are here to answer all of your questions, from sales to service, parts to maintenance. Check out Andy Moore Ford. Find them in Plainfield at 2713 East Main Street, 2713 East Main Street. Andy Moore Ford. Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com. That's AndyMooreFord.com.
3:05 with traffic on the 5s. Here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Donnie, look at this. Southbound 69 slows after 96 down to 82nd. Northbound 37 a little bit slow right now because of construction. That's from Epler Avenue up to 465, and that is a crash in Avon Avenue just south of 36 Rockville. Traffic sponsored by Boost Infinite. Hey, thinking of getting the latest iPhone? Then check out the amazing wireless offer from Boost Infinite. For more, just dial pound 250 on your phone and say Boost Infinite. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from the station's network. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Clouds begin to increase later this afternoon. We'll see highs right around 76 under breezy conditions. Tonight, mostly cloudy and mild with lows near 60. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Donnie Burgess, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! Mr. Hogsett, we'll go to you on this one again. Let's ask this. Do you agree with the report findings that there was a lack of planning, coordination, and communication? And where were you on the night of the riots?
Oh, baby! TV.
Yeah, that was Phil Sanchez, Wish TV last night. Great job. Both the moderators did great jobs last night asking the $1 million question. So many people are afraid to ask Joe Hogsett. I think it's only maybe the second time he's ever been asked to his face, where exactly were you during the riots? I mean, we've been asking that for 3 years, of course. Where were you during the nights of the... Look, overall, I thought that debate was kind of boring. I think Sharif is a wet blanket, looked nervous up there. Hogsett, admittedly so, looked a little more polished. But yeah, the question so many people have asked, Hammer, was asked last night.
Imagine being the one that was not the polished one when you're in a room with Joe Hogsett. Mr. I tripped over flip-flops and I got a fat lip. You're not the polished one in that room. There were times last night where it seemed like Jefferson Shreve was doing a hostage video.
He didn't want to be there.
He did not want to be there. Like, I get it, man. Not everybody is cut out to do television. And when those lights come down and the cameras turn on and your opponent is next to you, things happen. But I just did not feel like that was a really good look for Jefferson Shreve last night.
And did it change anybody's mind?
No, none. And we're going to play you some audio clips coming up. But last night, there was an opportunity for Jefferson Shreve. It was there. It was being presented. Here's a guy that's down about 10 percentage points in the polling. And this is going to probably be the most watched debate you'll have. The first one on television. The first televised debate is always the big one.
It's the first one mayoral debate here in Indy in 20 years.
Right. Now, I know they have another one coming up, but that first one's always the big one. And he just sat there and he kind of froze. It was like that scene in Wayne's World where Wayne walks off the show and leaves it to Garth. And Garth just kind of looks at the camera and squirms a little bit.
I didn't really, but on the other, there's flip side to that coin. I mean, I didn't think, and we'll play it here in a second, I didn't think Hogsett's answer to Sanchez's question about where he was very polished as well. He seemed to, you'll hear him mumble a lot of ums, a lot of uhs. He seemed to get a little off. Yeah, it seems like he was caught off guard by that question almost.
Well, hell yeah, you would be caught off guard because nobody's been asking it for the last 3 years. With the exception of a few folks over at Wish TV, hat tip to Wish TV. Phil Sanchez asked it last night. There was a previous reporter, Alexis Rogers. She asked Joe Hogsett.
That was in 21, I think, right?
Yeah. But nobody, as far as I'm aware of, has asked him that question to his face on other stations. Now, if you work at another station and you have, that's fine. Let us know. But all of these stations that have weekend political shows, all these little butt sniffers, they're just so thirsty for access to Joe Hogsett. They want the interviews. They want the sit-downs. They won't ask the hard question. And for those who might not know, I was kind of an employee at Wish TV for a number of years. Nigel, you and I still do a daily TV hit on Wish TV. I had a sports betting program on Wish TV for 2 years. So I still got some friends in that building. And last night, I was told by a little birdie, as Rob Kendall would say, that when Phil Sanchez asked that question last night, boy, the Hogsett handlers lost their blank. So here is the question and the answer from last night.
Mr. Hogsett, we'll go to you on this one again. Let's ask this. Do you agree with the report findings that there was a lack of planning, coordination, and communication? And where were you on the night of the riots?
Well, first of all, the question about the report, I embraced it because I put the committee together. Deborah Daniels and former Justice Myra Selby and Sean Huddleston, the president of Martin University, did a very thorough job. My office fully participated. And in answer to your second question, Phil, I was working from my home. I was in constant contact with my representatives, with IMPD. After things started to dissipate that evening, I got about 2 or 3 hours of rest and got up at 4 o'clock the next day, worked the rest of the weekend, meeting with organizers of the protests, and ultimately issued the order to have the protests ended, and that was effective. It was George Floyd changed the world. Not just Indianapolis. George Floyd and his death changed the world.
Certainly a deflection.
And I'm glad to say that we've had 300 protests since then without incident.
You're not supposed to have riots all the time, Joe. You're not supposed to set a record number of homicides every year, and it's not a brag or a boast. Well, we've had a lot of protests that have not turned into riots. You're not supposed to. Unbelievable. Now, let me ask you this, Nige. If you were Jefferson Shreve and you heard the question being asked and you heard his answer, knowing you're 10% down in the polls, how would you respond?
Well, I probably would have said, okay, who are you in contact with? Where is there a record? Is there any documentation? Who gave the order to let them march? I would have kept after him. I wouldn't have just let it go. I mean, that's.
I would go damn the torpedoes, too. You're losing by 10%. Were you in rehab? There are reports, there are rumors, there are allegations. You were in a rehab facility in Richmond, Indiana. Can you definitively look everyone in the eye and tell us you were not there and you were at home, and can you prove it? That's what I would have said. Here is Jefferson Shreve.
Well, that all sounds very commendable. It just doesn't sound consistent with all accounts that I have heard from others that were very much on the scene and wrestling with that situation, many of which members of the IMPD and the 911 staffing center and the governor's office. We had a terrific mess on our hands, and the mayor wasn't on the scene. I don't know if he was just working from home. I can tell you that a Mayor Shreve would have been on the scene, whether in an emergency command center or at least on the 25th floor of the city-county building, because that's how you lead.
Hey, look, man, I don't care where you were at. You could have been at Kings Island or Great Wolf Lodge on the water slides for all I care. Just tell us the truth. I want to know who was in charge. I want to know who was calling the shots. I want to know who said, let them march. And so far, all we have is, we put together a panel, and I stand by everything. I was at home. It was a very rambling answer by Joe Hogsett there, and a weak response from Shreve.
Right. Channeling my inner Dennis Green, who had one of the great press conferences of all time after a loss to the Chicago Bears. We let him off the hook. They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. That was the Arizona Cardinals coach Dennis Green after losing to the Chicago Bears. That's how I feel about Jefferson Shreve today. Hogsett is who we think he is, and you let him off the hook. Here is a little bit more from last night. The topic of permitless carry, constitutional carry came up. Here's Boss Hogsett.
Well, there's absolutely no question, and I think there's uniform agreement that permitless carry has been disastrous, particularly for Indianapolis, where no one needs a permit. I would go so far, and the City County Council has agreed with me, that we need to repeal concealed carry as well.
He just doesn't want to stop at constitutional carry. You shouldn't be able to protect yourself in this lawless hellhole of a city that Joe Hogsett and his gruesome twosome partner Ryan Mears helped create. Here's a little bit more from I was definitely not drunk when I fell down Joe Hogsett.
And so permitless carry has done really nothing more than put guns in the hands of the people who have absolutely no business possessing a handgun or any other type of weapon of that nature.
Yeah, the criminals were lined up around the corners waiting to sign up for permits.
Right.
When they were legal, right? When they were the law.
In Joe Hogsett's mind, there's somebody thinking to himself, man, I really want to kill this drug dealer out on the street right now, but, oh, man, I just got to wait for that law to change where I don't have to get a permit. Now, I still have to pass a background check, and I can't stress that enough, but not having a permit really makes me want to kill people multiple times in the streets of Indianapolis. And again, here is Jefferson Shreve's response.
Were I a legislator, which I am not, I would have been compelled by the testimony of Superintendent Doug Carter and our IMPD chief, who advocated for keeping the permitting requirements for concealed carry of weapons in place. And in the true and proper order of things, I would advocate for the reinstatement of that permitting requirement for concealed carry of weapons as part of my legislative package that I would take before the General Assembly at the start of the session, not after it had adjourned.
Either Jefferson Shreve's staff did a horrific job of prepping him for that debate, getting him ready for the bright lights and the cameras, or Jefferson Shreve is just kind of a dud. Either way, man, nobody changed their mind last night.
He might as well have just said, what Joe Hogsett said.
Like James Carville in Old School. I have no response. That's perfect. All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Yeah, we're looking at southbound 65 stop-and-go traffic, 21st Street to Meridian Pad, then a crash, Avon Avenue south of 36. Also on the east side, southbound 465 slows after Washington 2 south Shadelet Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
What a beautiful day. 77 degrees. We got some sun shining here at Monument Circle at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. And coming up next, longtime friend of our program, Eddie White of the Indiana Pacers will join us. Pacers opening night is tomorrow. And if you haven't seen the latest additions to the field house, we'll talk about that too. All right, we're off and running, and the YouTube camera is now working.
Oh, yeah.
The Rob Kendall Memorial YouTube camera is functioning. So come on in, get in the chat. Let's have a good time. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Hammer Nigel here for your Central Indiana American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. Absolute comfort. They specialize in Mitsubishi Electric Ductless Mini Splits. They're a diverse system that can be mounted on your wall or flush with the ceiling. They heat and cool at a very effective level, and these systems can be used to heat or cool specific rooms without ductwork, which ends up being a very clean way to heat and cool your home, business, or maybe even your garage.
These high-tech units are how most of the world heats and cools their homes and offices. These Mitsubishi electric ductless systems have advancements that can sense when a person is in a room and can warm or cool that room to that person's wishes. For the ultimate in efficiency and comfort, contact Chris Wedekin at Absolute Comfort to find out more. AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Somebody that I believe is going to be your next senator from the great state of Indiana, which I love so much, Jim Banks.
This is Donald Trump Jr. with an important message. My father and I have both endorsed Jim Banks for the United States Senate. Jim is a pro-Trump conservative, a fighter, and one of President Trump's strongest warriors against the swamp. Jim served our nation overseas in Afghanistan and will always fight to put America first. He's been a leader on securing our border, standing up to China, and ending wokeism in the military. When President Trump is back in the White House, he's going to need proven warriors fighting for the America First agenda in the U.S. Senate. So please support our good friend Jim Banks. America Leadership PAC is responsible for the content of this message, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americanleadershippac.org.
Colorectal cancer rates are on the rise, especially in younger adults. The good news? It's one of the few cancers that can be prevented through screening. So we're keeping up, making some changes, and saving lives. Franciscan Health now offers colonoscopy screenings for adults aged 45 and up. No doctor referral needed. And they're covered at 100% by most insurance plans. Are you 45? Screen sooner. Schedule your colonoscopy at franciscanhealth.org/coloncare.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Danville.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
If my Beech Grove High School education is correct, I believe the Spanish translation of this man's name is Eduardo Blanco. Eddie White of the Indiana Pacers joining us. My man, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, but I'm a little perplexed. I saw this tweet go out that said, boom, like alert, Hamill and Nigel, go to the radio right now. Boom, you got to listen. Speaker of the House, mayor, debate, Eddie White. I'm thinking, wait a minute, am I getting a new job here? Am I going to take this? Hey, I'll do the Speaker of the House.
I've got more faith in you, Eddie, to get that job done properly than most of the people nominated right now.
I'd walk up there with a cigar and a glass of wine. It'd be like the old Dean Martin show. And I'd say, all right, here we go. I'd even put the fire pole in so the guy can come down and knock on the door and see who the secret guest is and say, all right, let's get this show on the road, baby.
Well, man, the show is on the road for you guys. Opening night for the Pacers tomorrow. And certainly I want to talk about the team, but if anybody hasn't been by the field house lately, then maybe they saw all the construction going on last year and, during the summertime. Everything's all done and it looks awesome, right?
Oh, it's incredible. That new Bicentennial Unity Plaza, sometimes you draw something up and you hope it looks like, what you drew up, whether it's yourself or an architect or whatever. But when it comes out and it's real and it's better than anything you'd seen on paper, it blows you away. And it's kind of cool to go over there like at lunchtime and see people out there either playing basketball or just having lunch or just hanging around. And then pretty soon, I think it's next week, they start to put the ice in so people will be able to come down and do some ice skating and, the new sculptures that are there, the spear. It's just cool. It's just a neat outdoor area for people to just come and sit there and use it. And you add it to what, all the work that they've done the last 3 years or so on the field house. It makes the whole area really, really cool. And, then you tie in the
and
fact
you guys turn it in, it's an experience. It's more than just going to a Pacer game now. It's more than just going to a Colts game. It's an experience for the fan that involves more than just the basketball game.
Absolutely right. I mean, they've already had some movies out there, and they've had some little concerts out there, and I know there are plans to have maybe some of the local high schools have a school play out there. I know they had an inner city team play futsal out there, so it's really become an extension of, I always called our building the people's building. It's almost become an extension of the people's building, and it's just fun. I mean, we're trying to do our part to make downtown roll, and that's what we're doing.
And tomorrow night, opening night, the Pacers hosting the Washington Wizards. Eddie, we had Kevin Bowen on our program yesterday from The Fan, and I told KB, if I'm the Pacers, my goal is locked-in playoffs. I don't want any of this play-in crap. I'm talking about a locked-in spot. 4, 5, 6, whatever the case may be. That's what I think the ceiling is for this team. I think they're going to be pretty good this year.
I agree. I mean, I think if everything is, health. I mean, we've seen that on all the teams in our community, regardless of the sport. Health is important. I think if they stay healthy, that is a goal to make the playoffs, be in the playoffs, and maybe do something. And I think we saw that some of these young teams are maybe developing a little faster than we thought. Sure, Boston, Milwaukee look like the superpowers in the East, but I just love the chemistry that Kevin Pritchard and company have built here.
Right.
I like the new additions. And, we all know Halliburton he's our version of Peyton Manning. We are building around him, and this is his team, and I love the pieces around him. And it's just great to have people genuinely, not the malarkey and the BS that's thrown out there, but genuinely be excited about seeing the team play, and because they're good, number one, they're going to win and they're fun.
And I went to one of the preseason games, Eddie, and you talked about the chemistry. That's one of the things that I noticed. Like, even when the bench guys are in, you see all the starters, whether it's Halliburton, Miles Turner, they're all up, cheering, laughing, rooting on their teammates. I know they went out and did some stuff in the community yesterday. It feels like not only is this a good team, but they really kind of get along and root for each other.
That was definitely the case last year. I expect to be the case this year, but there's been some new blood. We brought in Bruce Brown, who's a big acquisition. He won the World Championship last year. Obi Toppin is a key guy, but boy, the more time you spend with him, he's kind of fitting right in. And you got the 3 draft picks that are going to try to fit in. So there's some new blood coming in, and you've got to see what happens there, and in minutes and all the other stuff. But I agree with you. It's one of the. I know Kevin Pritchard said he thought last year was the best locker room we'd ever been around, and I've been my locker rooms go back to South Bend, Indiana. in Miami, Florida, and I have to agree with him. I mean, it's amazing to see the chemistry. It reminds me of a college team, and you don't see that a lot in the pros, but we certainly have it in our locker room.
Eddie, who's the leader in the locker room? Is it Halliburton, like you said, the face of the franchise, or can it be more than one person? Who are the leaders in the locker room that everybody responds to?
It could be. That's a great question. I think it's Halliburton out of the gate. I mean, they're going to follow his lead, but you always need that there has to be another dog in that room. And, I mean, back in the day, we had Paul George, we had Reggie Miller. Paul George had David West. Reggie Miller had the Davis guy. Smits was a good leader inside that locker room. There's going to be that other guy. It could be Miles Turner. It could be one of these. It could be Mathurin. But I think you see that when there's a chemistry, it maybe doesn't matter who the leader is. But to answer your question, the certifiable leader is Tyrese Halliburton, no doubt.
And Eddie, if somebody wants to get tickets, go to the game, and then listen to the world's greatest post-game show on the way home, where can they go?
Friends, Romans, countrymen, listen, your long national nightmare is over. The debut, the season debut of the world's greatest postgame show is tomorrow night following the contest that the Pacers beat up on the Wizards from D.C., the District of Columbia, that would be. But listen to this, tomorrow night, opening night, sponsored by Kroger, right? But how about this one? You can get tickets right now, Pacers.com/tickets for $9. $9 gets you in the building. Holy smokes, you can't beat it with a stick. And we got lots of games, 41 at home this year. And you go to Pacers.com/tickets, lots of opportunities to see the guys in person. Of course, you can see them on TV. You can listen to them right here on our stations right here in Indianapolis that you guys love. And, of course, afterwards, listen to the world's greatest postgame show, #1 in the world, from Beach Grove to Bucharest.
There we go.
Bucharest. I don't know if there is a Bucharest anymore, but anyway, there used to be. A Bucharest, a Beach Grove, #1 with a bullet. That's us.
I'm telling you, man, opening night, tickets are affordable. It's going to be like 70 degrees. I'm hoping for a packed house, man.
Adam Silver's going to be there. Got a little press deal before the game to give everybody an update on the All-Star game. We got the All-Star game coming in this year. Oy vey, we got more stuff going on. It's going to be unbelievable. I may go like Lionel Richie tomorrow night, all night long.
Eddie, you're the man. We appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, Eddie.
Love you guys. God bless you. Be good. God
the
bless
Hammer and Nigel Show.
Mark Diedel's the only real estate expert I trust to sell my home. Ben in Speedway. It was 48 years. It was time to downsize and cash in on his credit. He heard about Mark on the show, and Mark delivered as promised. Mark got him a cash offer with no appraisal before the home even went on the market at the price he wanted.
Listen, we all know somebody that is a realtor, or it's a friend, or it's a family member. The real reality is this: you deserve the best. You deserve the person that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, and that is Mark Dietel. He's the only real estate expert we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Go with the best. Go with Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel, markdietel.com.
Indianapolis. With Mayor Joe Hogsett, we've made real progress. Billions in new construction, unemployment at a historic low, 700 new police, $1.2 billion in new infrastructure, hundreds of new streetlights, and thousands of college scholarships. Now Joe Hogsett is fighting the state abortion ban and to get guns off the street. But Joe knows the work isn't done. It's why he's hiring even more police, expanding community policing, and investing in programs that help keep kids out of trouble. And Jefferson Shreve, he supports banning abortion. And after getting an A rating from the NRA, Jefferson Shreve has been against any new gun laws. Jefferson Shreve is bringing Trump-style politics to Indianapolis and trashing our city. Re-elect Mayor Joe Hogsett. Steady leadership in times of change.
Paid for by Hogsett for Indianapolis.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You know what they say, fourth's time the charm. It's 78, mostly cloudy over Monument Circle. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 3:31. The GOP has nominated Republican Tom Emmer as their latest choice for House Speaker.
Emmer, though, is struggling to get the 217 votes needed to become Speaker, and sources tell Fox News he's facing a number of no votes. Emmer can only afford to lose 4 Republicans, and Congressman Jim Jordan, the last GOP nominee, says he wants members to come together.
Look, we're going to have to work this out. I think we will.
It's not clear if or when the House could vote. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Indiana Congressman Jim Banks says he will vote against Tom Emmer. In a statement, Banks calls Emmer more liberal than he is conservative and says Emmer's kind wants to betray Republican voters. The UAW strike has affected thousands of jobs.
But Kokomo Mayor Tyler Moore says his community is resilient and can weather the storm if local plants are asked to walk the picket line.
Kokomo, with the long-standing relationship that Stellantis, formerly Chrysler, and UAW have had, we're not unfamiliar with layoffs, however long they may be.
Moore tells Inside Indiana Business that he's optimistic about the construction of a second EV battery plant and what it will do for his local economy. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Israel is accusing the United Nations of an anti-Israel bias and wants the UN chief to resign. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the October 7th Hamas attacks against Israel did not happen in a vacuum. For a moment, they thought all hope was lost. Now a family in Evansville says they're feeling a little bit better.
Mark and Tori Vivoda live in Evansville, and Mark's aunt, Yoshi Lifshitz, was a prisoner of Hamas. She's 85 years old, and she needs an oxygen tank to survive. Hamas let her go on Monday. Now she's being cared for at a hospital. Mark and Tori say the next order of business is getting Yoshi's husband, Oded, out because he's still a Hamas prisoner. He has a lung disease, too, and he needs medicine. Now this Evansville family, though, is saying it's important to hold on to hope. John Herbeck, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Your time is 3:33. Traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Don't you love fall in Indy, but you hate to paint? Do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad. With Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating, better than paint.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
Here's a never-before offer, Indy. Act now before October 31st and get 25% off the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield.
It was done in 2001. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Remember, Indy, this is a limited-time offer, so act by Halloween to get 25% off the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield. Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic, here's Matt Bear.
Yeah, Donnie, looking at a crash. It's eastbound 465 on the northeast side before Allisonville Road, and 2 left lanes are blocked. That is causing a slowdown there. And then we have northbound 465 on the east side, a little bit slow around East 56. Inbound 65, stop and go 21st to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Clouds begin to increase later this afternoon. We'll see highs right around 76 under breezy conditions. Tonight, mostly cloudy and mild with lows near 60. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Well, Hammer, a statement by the Good Time Party Boys from the Islamic resistance in Iraq.
Ooh.
Quote, this evening, fighters of the Islamic resistance in Iraq targeted American occupation bases in western Iraq with a missile directly hitting its targets. All right, they sound like a fun group.
And this comes literally just a few hours after the White House issued a statement saying that Iran was, quote, actively facilitating some attacks on U.S. military bases. That tweet came out last night, and then lo and behold, here we are this morning, where the fine folks at the Islamic Resistance in Iraq are saying, yeah, we got a few missiles across. They landed. Now, it doesn't sound like there was any major damage here, but you never want missiles landing on your base. White House spokesman John Kirby said there have been an uptick in these types of attacks over the last week, especially the last few days.
Now, we've also seen over the course of the last few days, actually the course of the last week, but certainly over the last couple of days of the weekend, an uptick in rocket and drone attacks by Iranian-backed proxy groups against military bases housing U.S. personnel in Iraq and Syria. At the direction of President Biden, the Secretary of Defense has ordered the military to take steps to prepare for this, to ensure that we're postured appropriately, both in terms of being able to defend our forces and respond decisively as needed. The Secretary of Defense has directed 2 carrier strike groups to the region, and we are now sending more air defenses to U.S. air bases in the region. Now, we know these groups are supported by the IRGC and the regime. We know Iran continues to support Hamas and Hezbollah. And we know that Iran is closely monitoring these events and in some cases actively facilitating these attacks and spurring on others who may want to exploit the conflict for their own good or for that of Iran.
You know, I think Iranians need to realize, I mean, do you remember a guy named Soleimani?
Soleimani.
Major general in Iran that was targeted and assassinated by a U.S. drone near Baghdad International Airport, exclusively signed off by Trump. Precision drone strike. The only thing that was left of Soleimani was his finger with a ring on it. I don't know, man. It just seems like they're poking a lot of bears here. Israel being one of them. The United States is kind of getting annoyed. And I think we have the equipment and the ability to take out some of these guys that are, again, Soleimani just walking out of the Baghdad airport and thinking nothing's wrong and just evaporated. And so I'm thinking more of that needs to take place.
But the problem is that the rest of the world looks at the United States right now as having a substitute teacher.
Yeah, Biden is a very weak leader.
The only reason that Soleimani was blown to hell was that the big bad orange man was in there and didn't take kindly to threats against the United States and threats against our military members. If Joe Biden had been in there, Soleimani would still be alive today. And the New York Times and the Washington Post would talk about how distinguished his salt and pepper beard is today as he would be alive. Here's a little bit more from Kirby in his presser.
So is a U.S. war against Iran possible?
I think what we want to see more than anything, Wolf, is no widening of this conflict, no deepening of it. And we continue to send a strong message to actors in the region, including Iran, that if you're thinking about jumping in here, you're thinking about deepening and widening and escalating, don't do it. We will take our national security interests very, very seriously in the region, and we've added to the military capabilities to make sure that we can do that.
I mean, that wasn't a no. He's not ruling it out, per se.
I just want everybody to think about what would it be like right now. How would we be dealing with Iran if they had a nuke? That changes the whole game.
Or if we had a competent United States president. I think that changes the game as well. Because we've been talking about this for a while. And this isn't anything new. This is something that's predicted. We knew when the home stretch came of the presidential election, and we're just about a year out, all these countries that hate the United States are going to get as squirrely as they can and see what they can get away with because they don't respect Joe Biden. They're not scared of Joe Biden in any way or his woke military leaders. If this were a different president, even a different Democrat, I wonder if things would be a little different. Now, Kirby also says that 10 American citizens remain unaccounted for in Israel, but he doesn't know where they are, how many are being held by Hamas terrorists, or really even if they were alive or dead. And again, I feel like that's the safe line. I'm willing to bet we've already got some folks over there trying to locate where these hostages are if the intelligence indicates they're still alive.
And in the meantime, the United States is already, it looks like they're planning for a mass evacuation if this Gaza thing escalates beyond what it is right now. If I was an American in the Middle East, I'd be getting my ass out of there ASAP. You don't need to issue any mass evacuation orders for me. I'm already gone.
Well, hell, if you wait too long, Biden's ass will leave you there. So you better get on that first flight out. Do not wait till the very end.
You get on those Biden flights, you're getting charged, just so you know.
That's fine. Charge me, put it on my credit card.
That's true. He's charging the citizens that got on those flights.
Book a commercial flight if you want to leave. If not, well, sucks to be you. White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, she worries about anti-Semitism.
Muslim and those perceived to be Muslim have endured a disproportionate number of hate-fueled attacks. And certainly President Biden understands that many of our Muslim, Arab Americans and Palestinian American loved ones and neighbors are worried about the hate being directed at their communities. And that is something you heard the president speak to in his address just last Thursday.
1,400 Jews slaughtered brutally in front of their families, kids burned alive. But Islamophobia. That's the answer.
We don't want to hurt Hamas's feelings.
By the way,
she's
walked that back a little bit. She said she misunderstood the question.
Well, she is an idiot. So that excuse does play out just a little bit, Nige. Meanwhile, Hollywood and some of their actors, they're calling for a ceasefire, and they wrote a sternly worded letter to Joe Biden, Nige, and some celebrities that have signed it include Bradley Cooper, Joaquin Phoenix, Justin Timberlake, Alyssa Milano, Andrew Garfield, Kristen Stewart, just some of the names that signed this letter going to Joe Biden, urging him, begging him for a ceasefire.
Well, Joe Biden secretly agrees with them. There's no doubt. I mean, he's said officially that he agrees with Israel and their right to defend themselves. But he's also been on the other. He's speaking out of both sides of his mouth, kind of saying, well, maybe we need to pump the brakes, wait for the hostage situation to take care of itself. And who cares what Alyssa Milano, is she a celebrity? Is she still considered relevant? I mean, at least Justin Timberlake and Joaquin Phoenix and Bradley Cooper are major stars.
Right.
How did Alyssa Milano's name get stuck on this?
Tony Danza's sitcom daughter puts herself in the same category as those A-listers. But all right, couple things here. Number one, do these celebrities really think this letter is not only going to make its way to Joe Biden's desk, but he's going to open it up and read it? Do they think Joe Biden can read? Number two.
It's going to be read to him, if anything.
Does Joe Biden know who any of these people are? Like, if Bradley Cooper right now walked inside the White House, do you think Joe Biden would think he's some sort of terrorist and call security?
Well, I mean, Bradley Cooper's a big star. Joaquin's a big star. Justin Timberlake is a big star. But then it starts to go way downhill. I mean, I don't even know who Andrew Garfield. He's the guy that played Spider-Man, right? One of the Spider-Man
not
movies.
the good Spider-Man, but one of these Spider-Men. Yes.
Yeah.
And like Kristen Stewart, like, all right, so follow me here.
Okay.
For blanks and giggles, shiggles, as the kids would say, let's just say that Joe Biden knows who these people are. And to double down, he actually read the letter. Do they anticipate that Joe Biden's going to shuffle up to that podium? Man, that anorexic chick from Twilight was right.
Oh.
We've got to call a ceasefire now. Like, I'm getting on the phone. I'm calling Netanyahu. I'm going to get all the Hamas people together and let them know that Andrew Garfield is pissed off. Like, is that what they want?
That's what they expect. I'm sure some of them are arrogant enough to believe that could happen.
Clay Aiken says we need to stop the shenanigans. And what Clay wants, Clay gets. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
If your leaky chimney is
is at it again, there's only one place to call. That's Chimney Solutions. Chimney Solutions has over 20 years of experience inspecting, sweeping, and troubleshooting chimney systems. From repairing your masonry to waterproofing to chimney caps, they handle it all with craftsmanship guarantees. The Chimney Solutions team is Chimney Safety Institute of America certified and members of the National Chimney Sweep Guild. Call Chimney Solutions today at 317-757-6979. Online at chimneyindy.com. That's Chimney Solutions.
It's hard to believe that our government has racked up more than $33 trillion in debt. Actually, it's very believable. I take that back. I totally believe it. $33 trillion in debt. And you know what they're going to do next? They're going to turn right around and make you and I pay for it by raising your taxes. Hammer and Nigel here. You need to learn how you can reduce your taxes in retirement with a free customized retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Bill Demery, your retirement guy here in Indy. And we're also clients.
I can't say this enough. Don't let the government take your money. And when you work with Bill Demery, that's his specialty. So if you've saved at least $200,000, schedule your free analysis right now by calling 317-648-5120. Learn how you could reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Call now, 648-5120. 648-5120. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
There's lots to love from Apple right now at Verizon. Get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium and more to love from Apple on us with select phone trade-in and select unlimited plans. There's no better place to get what you love from Apple than at Verizon. And there's no better time than right now. All that with the network you can really rely on. It's your Verizon. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on select 5G unlimited plans required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply. One offer per eligible Verizon line. Additional terms apply.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
We were just talking about this list of celebrities that signed this letter for Joe Biden, and one of the, air quotes, celebrities that signed it was Alyssa Milano, Tony Danza's sitcom daughter on Who's the Boss. Jamie tweets at us, at Hammer and Nigel, hey, Tony Danza's sitcom daughter was great in Commando. I forgot.
She played Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter, I believe.
Yes. Commando, great film. And it's also what Matt Baer does. Doesn't like to wear underpants. He goes commando every day.
And I wear camouflage when I don't wear underpants. It's kind of amazing. Southbound 65, stop and go. 21st to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70, slow into downtown from Harding Street to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 69, tight from 96 down to 82nd Street. And a crash reported that's eastbound 465 near Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Ah, Royal Spa. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
This is the perfect weather to do some good old-fashioned outside drinking. I mean, this is it. Sunshine 77 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, by the way, one of the days I was in Florida, the weather was really bad. Like, there's a tornado warning. And so we were all inside just hanging out, and there was a Who's the Boss marathon on one of the channels. It was like the first season. So it's like where she walks in and caught him in his underwear or whatever. Right. Do you remember that? And then their first fight came after that. And I could only stand it for about an hour.
My favorite episode is the one where Tony Danza says, Angela.
You mean every episode? Hillary Clinton getting heckled. We love it. We'll have some audio for you after 4 o'clock, plus the latest with the nominee for speaker.
Well, Yeah.
Yeah. Someone polled 1,000 Americans on what they would give up to be debt-free.
Okay.
See if anything's doing anything good for you guys. Your car for a year. You got to give up your car.
No.
Public transportation.
I would go into more debt if I didn't have a car. I couldn't get to work.
30% would do it to be debt-free. Now, you take the bus. Go to the
You take a bus
system. I'm just saying.
You get on the red line. Where's Nigel at? I don't know, but there's a homeless guy fondling himself next to him on the red line. He should be here anytime soon.
Okay, 1,000 Americans on what they would give up to be debt-free. Your phone for a year.
Nope.
22% would ditch their phones for a year.
No, because I need it to make sure my family is okay. I would be like a nervous wreck if I didn't have my phone.
Your pet for a year. Only 12% would do that. You guys just got a new one, didn't you?
Yep. The coupon lady brought home a kitten yesterday.
Was that a surprise? Or was that
it was one of those things where, like, it was mentioned, but I really wasn't paying attention. Hey, I know you're watching the Colts game right now, and it's the final play of the game. Can I bring a cat home? Yeah. Sounds good.
Well, that's awesome. Does it have a name?
Oreo.
Awesome.
It's the little kitten offspring of our friend Anna.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. No sex for a year.
I'm out.
Debt eliminated, but you can't have sex for a year.
No, I'm out.
56% would abstain.
Those people aren't having sex anyway.
Alcohol. Yeah, that's a good point. Alcohol for 2 years. Would you give up alcohol for 2 years? 73% said sure to be debt-free.
Man.
I'd try it.
I think I would. Absolutely. It'd be tough, but I think I would.
I'd lose about 30 pounds.
Right.
No traveling for 2 years to be debt-free.
I like going on vacations, man. No. No way.
70% say they would stay home.
70%?
70%. I'd consider it. I'd consider it. I'm a homebody. I get anxious. I get anxious days before I know that we have to go, get on a plane, make our connector, get an Uber. I know it just makes me anxious for some reason.
See, when the weather changes, it starts getting cold, I want to go somewhere warm.
Someone polled 1,000 Americans on what they would give up to be debt-free. No streaming for 2 years.
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
We'd rather give up. So 59% said sure.
Yeah, I can watch basic cable and be just fine without having Netflix or HBO Max or any of that stuff. Yeah.
Amazon for life. Giving up Amazon for life, using Amazon in any way, shape, or form to reset your debt. Would you do it?
Yes. I don't use Amazon that much anyway.
Really? Coupon Lady does it?
Coupon Lady does a little bit, but no, it's not a big deal really for us.
Couple of more here. What you would give up to be debt-free. Social media for life.
For life is interesting because the job we have, social media is kind of required. I mean, hell, we got a YouTube stream going here. We're active on Twitter. We got Facebook and Instagram and all the stuff. So I don't know if we could.
Well, if you didn't have the job you had.
If I didn't have the job I had, then sure.
Yeah, I think I'd do it.
Yeah. I think my life would be more productive, less stressful. I'd get in less fights with people if I didn't have social media.
Last one here. This is interesting. Work 365 days in a row.
I know you're out.
Without a single day off. I'm out on that. 35% of us would do it to be debt-free.
Well, you work 365 straight days. You should be debt-free.
I was going to say, that's the one thing that might actually leave you debt-free is working a full year straight.
I mean, I think a lot of people would say they could do that. But after about 4 months, and remember, you're working on Saturdays and Sundays. This is 365 days. There's going to be some days where you just want to stay home and watch football.
Man, when I was coming up, in radio, when I worked at the Bear, the country station, I was working 7 days a week for 6 months straight.
I've been there.
Every day, everything I could, any shift I could take. And I loved it.
When you were our age coming up in the radio game, like that was the thing. Like you would probably have a day job that paid your bills and you dabbled part-time at the radio station and you'd work every holiday, every crappy graveyard nighttime shift. And Now, like, people apply to be interns here at the radio station, and they flat out say,
sure,
I only want to do concerts, and I don't want to do anything else. Well, it doesn't really work that way. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
After our investigation on Indianapolis Animal Care Services aired, our viewers asked us to dive deeper into animal welfare. Fox 59's Angela Ganote went searching for that answer.
Viewers and volunteers are frustrated that a proposed new animal care facility has not been built. Too many cats and dogs are being euthanized.
They don't focus enough on adoptions, they don't focus enough on rescues, and they just put whatever energy that they have into euthanizing dogs.
What we have today, from an animal care services standpoint, is simply shameful.
If Joe Hogsett was a good mayor, we'd have the new animal shelter he announced. Instead, an empty lot. If he cared, he'd have done the job after the cameras left. If Joe Hogsett was up to the job, whistleblowers' calls would have been answered. Instead, euthanasia. Joe Hogsett's had 8 years as mayor. You know about the crime and the roads and the overdoses. But it turns out Joe's failed them, too. It's time for a change.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
You should see the before and after pictures of my garage before Galaxy Concrete Coatings got a hold of it. You can go to their Facebook page, Galaxy Concrete Coatings Indianapolis. Scroll down to March. It's night and day. My old cracked garage floor looked awful. That is until Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and within a day cleaned it up, made it 4 times stronger, easy to clean, and they did not use epoxy with this new coating. They used polyurea, which is basically the new standard for coatings. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is literally out of this world. I love the staff. And again, they had it done quick in a day. Check out their website to see pictures, get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment, the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S. The versatile lineup is built to help you make the most of your land. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, plus save up to $800 on qualifying implements. Now through October 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
Hey, you're up next. My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Basements get a bad rap, probably because so many of them are wet, leaky, and musty. Michaelis is putting an end to the horror show. Their time-tested waterproofing systems eliminate and prevent water issues. Damp and moldy becomes clean and healthy. They have a lot of homeowners enjoying their basements again. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
It takes everyone in the community working together to create a brighter future. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Visit liveunited.org to learn how you can help.
Coming up in 2 minutes, it's Indiana versus Meta. John Herrick has what you need to know. Another police shooting in the capital city, and how Kokomo is preparing for a major boost to its economy. Those stories and more next from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's now 4 o'clock.
A tech giant taken to court. Lisa Brady, Fox News. 41 states plus D.C. accusing Instagram and Facebook parent company Meta of knowingly using harmful features to get kids addicted to its products.
For its own gain, Meta has and continues to exploit the vulnerability of children and their fundamental desire for connection to to others.
Maryland Attorney General Anthony Wood as 33 states sue today. 9 more attorneys general planning to file tomorrow. Meta says it's taken steps to protect teens online and is disappointed the states have chosen this path. The company says clear age-appropriate standards are needed across the industry for the many apps teens use. The White House says President Biden and the Saudi Crown Prince agree much more humanitarian aid is needed for civilians in Gaza. The two leaders had a call today, also agreeing to pursue broader diplomatic efforts to prevent the Israel-Hamas conflict from expanding. The Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza accuses Israel of expanding the areas it's targeting with airstrikes. This amid reports of U.S. pressure to delay a ground invasion.
It's Israel's decision as to when and how they conduct their operations. The relationship between the United States and Israel right now is focused on, again, understanding what their defense needs are and making sure that we're able to support them in that regard.
Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder also emphasizing the U.S. right to protect its interests overseas. He says there's now been at least 13 drone and rocket attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria, blamed on Iran-backed militants. Federal prosecutors announcing a new indictment against a Haitian gang leader accused of ordering the kidnapping of an American couple last year that left a woman dead. The woman's husband was held for 21 days. A reward of up to $1 million being offered in the search for that gang leader. The Dow up 249 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why they want them in court. Radar's clear at 79 and partly cloudy. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Dozens of states are suing Meta, the parent company of Facebook. John Herrick reports Indiana is one of them.
Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita says the company knowingly designed and deployed harmful features that hurts the mental health of children and gets them more addicted to social media. The states also accuse Meta of knowing that young users were active on those platforms and collected data from them anyway without getting permission from their parents. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A shots fired call this morning brought cops to the northeast side of Indy.
He says proactive cops are just doing their jobs. I'm Ryan Hedrick. IMPD Deputy Chief Kendale Adams says officers saw a vehicle speeding away from a scene close to where a shots fired call was made.
An officer makes a traffic stop of a vehicle he sees fleeing. Now, whether it was related to that shots are fired or not, we don't know.
Adams says police chased a man into a tree where he sat for several minutes and asked the cops to shoot him, and they did. Cops did find a holster on the man, but no gun. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A second electric vehicle battery plant is coming to Kokomo. Mayor Tyler Moore says it's time to fix the city's housing shortage.
We were short on supply before the announcement of the first battery plant and had shifted gears as a city administration to focus on housing.
More on Inside Indiana Business. Indiana gas down 3 cents from last week. $3.27 is your average, says AAA. Being with your baby in the neonatal intensive care unit can be stressful. That's why Obi Toppin of the Indiana Pacers showed up to the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital to give away Halloween treats and put smiles on faces.
She won't remember today, but we'll be able to show her pictures and video later, and she's got a basketball now, so it was a cool way to break up what's felt like 6 weeks of the very same day.
That's one of the parents. The Women and Children's Tower opens next year. Your time is 4:04. Traffic and weather up next.
She's running around. Her breath doesn't smell. Her digestive system is perfect. It has made such a huge difference.
What did this dog parent do for their dog? She switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-sized bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/healthy or text HEALTHY to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/healthy or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
It's 4:05. Traffic on the 5. Here's Matt Bear.
All right. Donnie. Looking at eastbound 70 stop and go traffic. Harding Street to the south. Split inbound 65. Also loaded from 21st to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. That's a crash coming in from the west side. It's eastbound Crawfordsville Road at 465 there at Waterfront. And that's causing a backup. Another crash. This one on the east side, 21st at Dearborn near the interstate. Traffic sponsored by Allworth Financial, Uncompromised Wealth Management. Discover the power of uncompromised wealth management. Unlock your full financial potential. Call 833-GO-ALLWORTH to book your free consultation today. That's 833-GO-ALLWORTH. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Clouds begin to increase later this afternoon. We'll see highs right around 76 under breezy conditions. Tonight, mostly cloudy and mild with lows near 60. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
Oh, boy. I'm so excited. The Republicans have picked Representative Tom Emmer as their new nominee for House Speaker.
What teenage girl across America doesn't have a Tom Emmer poster hanging up in her room?
The congressman out of Minnesota. Are they trying to... So Jim Jordan was a big Trump guy, and he was ousted. Not ousted, but he didn't get voted in. So they're trying to go the other way here because this Emmer guy does not like, he's like the anti-Trump.
Yeah, Emmer is
right?
a total establishment butt sniffer. Like some even go as far to say he's more of a rhino than Kevin McCarthy. Now, Emmer is the GOP majority whip, congressman from Minnesota. He beat out in conference Mike Johnson of Louisiana in the final round of voting, 117 to 97. Previously, he was third, a distant third in the previous round of voting. And you're right, Emmer is not a Trump guy. And keep in mind, this is also the same dude that defended Ilhan Omar after she described 9/11 as some people did something.
He defended her.
He ran to her rescue. He looked at her as a damsel in distress and rode in there on his big rhino cape and saved the day.
Yeah, I think he once said he wanted to do away with the Electoral College.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those videos are making their way around social media now. That was the National Popular Vote Initiative, NPV. That organization is funded by George and Alex Soros. The organization heavily tied to Barack Obama and the Democrats. And here is the guy the Republicans are trying to get to be the Speaker of the House.
I've had the argument made to me, Tom, as a conservative, why would you ever want to support something like National Popular Vote?
You know, they handed me a book, and I said to the gentleman that had come in to pitch it, why would I ever support this? I mean, are you crazy? Well, it's funny. I went and read the book and became an absolute believer. I get conservatives who say to me, well, why do you want to eliminate the Electoral College? And I have to tell them, this is why you need to read the book.
No, I don't need to read the book, Tom. The Electoral College is a perfect system designed to make sure that multiple states pick the president, not just 4 states.
Boy, the pendulum has swung there in the House, hasn't it? It goes from Jim Jordan to this guy?
Yeah, there's no way. I'm hoping there's no way this clown sniffs 217 votes because that's a big number to get. And Donald Trump was asked his thoughts on the Speaker of the House situation and can anybody get to 217? Here is your former president.
Threshold is very tough. It's a very tough thing, no matter who it is. I said there's only one person that can do it all the way. You know who that is? Jesus Christ. Jesus came down and said, I want to be Speaker. He would do it. Other than that, I haven't seen anybody that can guarantee it.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. Only Jesus could get 217 right now from the Republicans. Listen, this Emmer cat is a total zero. This guy, he's the mascot of the swamp, basically. And they're trying to lift him up. And what's frustrating is that Matt Gaetz is offering his support of this guy. Now, I think Gaetz at this point is like, Well, hell, I guess we better get somebody in here because everybody's kind of looking at me like, what the hell did you do?
Yeah.
But not this guy. Like, if you're going to tell me that Jim Jordan can't get the votes or Steve Scalise, all right, fine. But this is the most establishment, butt-sniffing, horrific choice. He wanted to get rid of the Electoral College, an organization funded by Soros, and this is who is coming out of committee. Man, I'm telling you, we rip on the establishment. We rip on the swamp a lot, but it is a powerful force. They are tough to defeat. You mentioned something earlier, Nigel, about Hillary Clinton being heckled.
Yeah, failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, several times over failed.
Yes.
By the way, she was some panel discussion at Columbia University yesterday, and she went at it with this dude, I don't know if you call him a disruptor, who demanded that she denounce Joe Biden, and this is all pretty delicious. Just take a listen here.
Make a statement about President Joe Biden's speech. This is a clearly warmongering speech. President Joe Biden is calling for $100 billion of funding for Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine, and we're supposed to just bundle these together and pretend like we're going to rush to World War III, and we're all just going to let Hillary Rodham Clinton sit here. Okay.
I'm sorry. You know, this is not the way to have a conversation.
I'm sorry.
If you want to have a conversation, you're welcome to come talk to me afterwards.
You can sit here. Okay, right. You're gonna wait for me, right? I do not believe you.
I will listen to you, and I will respond to you.
I do not believe you. Respectfully, I do not believe you. And the fact of the matter is that the American people's voice are what need to be heard. What I have done is I have asked Hillary Rodham Clinton to denounce the president's openly warmongering, suicidal, idiotic speech.
And I've given my answer. I will not do that. So that's the end of our conversation. But I'll still meet you outside. You're done.
I like this guy, and he kind of touched on something you and I have been talking about the past couple of days, ever since Joe Biden made that speech, is that, like, he wants to bundle all of this spending together, like everything's equal, and wants us to think it's the same thing.
Right, and it's not. I'm sorry. Israel is an ally. Ukraine is not. Ukraine has gotten a lot of our money, a lot of aid, right? A lot of military vehicles and weaponry. They've received quite a bit. I think our service to Ukraine has come to an end here. And stop with the whole bull crap of, well, if Russia takes Ukraine, they're going to move into Poland next. No, they're not. Stop it. Ukraine is not a United States ally, no matter how much people in Washington want them to be. But Israel is. So, yes, they get more perks than others. But go back to that soundbite. Allison, if you could just play the very end to that. Did Hillary Clinton say, basically, cash me outside? Like, is that what she said?
And I've given my answer. I will not do that. So that's the end of our conversation. But I'll still meet you outside. You're done.
Cash me outside. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that? But I'll still meet you outside.
That's the same energy, isn't it? You want a piece of me? Like yelling at him like Bob Barker yelled at Happy Gilmore. Old Pantsuit Patty was fit to be tied right there.
I love it. I love it.
Great moments in Hillary Clinton history. We actually got a chance to sit down with her a number of years ago, and we got her thoughts on the horrific state of the unisex bathroom across the hall from our air studio.
I was just sick. I was shocked. I was appalled. It was something that was just intolerable.
I think we could have cleaned it up a little before we let Hillary Clinton.
It was clean before she went in there. Hey, if you're looking for a reason to drink today, October 24th,
yeah,
this is National Bologna Day. Are you a big bologna guy?
I honestly have not had bologna in years. It could be decades.
I'm not a big bologna eater.
When I was a kid, of course, bologna sandwiches in the summertime. Mom would make those for lunch and come in, shove one down the throat, and go right back out and play. I have not had bologna since I was a teenager, probably.
My wife still likes bologna.
Really? Does she like cook it on the skillet?
She can, yeah. She heats up bologna.
Isn't that what Spam is? Or is that something different? I've never had Spam.
It's a little different, but it's basically just all bunch of mangled up critters put into one piece of meat, and that's what bologna and Spam is. Allison, are you we'll try to word this without people, giving me crap. Are you a bologna fan?
I am not. No, never have.
Why is everybody looking at me when I ask Allison that question? When was the last time you had a bologna sandwich?
Truly, probably when I was a kid, and I did not like it. I don't like the look of it, the texture. I don't like any of it.
Some of that bologna has like red dots in it.
Yes, and it's creepy.
Oh, that's the grossest.
What is the red dot?
I don't know, like some sort of like pepper maybe. I'm not sure. I would do bologna sandwiches with mayonnaise and mustard and cheese.
Matt Baer, do we know what the red dot is in bologna?
No.
Dynamite drop in there, Matt. How's traffic?
I saw it in the unisex bathroom once. All right, we have northbound 465 right now. A little bit slow on the east side. That's going to be East 56 up to I-69. Southbound 65 stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn, and eastbound is 70. Stop and go traffic right now, Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. And then southbound 465 on the east side slows, Washington to Brookville Road. Watch out in Speedway crash coming in eastbound Crawfordsville Road at Waterfront. That's going to be before 465. Traffic sponsored by Discover. Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a game-changing checking account with cashback. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Kid Charlemagne tweets at us at Hammer and Nigel. Hot dogs are just smaller versions of bologna. Is that true? Like if you take a rolling pin out and you smash a hot dog, does that make bologna?
If you've ever watched the movie Great Outdoors, we know the definition of what hot dogs actually are: lips and a-holes.
That's 100% right. Sunshine poking through some clouds, 77 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
My journey with Exercise Inc. started, probably 5 or 6 years ago. I needed something different. I needed a better, more unique way of working out and getting the physical exercise my body was craving. But I just didn't have time to go to a giant big box gym 6 days a week. That's where Exercise Inc. comes in. They've been helping clients change their lives in just 20 minutes a week. This program is safe enough that anyone can do it. It'll get you stronger. You'll have more energy. You'll be a lot healthier, just like I am. 5 or 6 exercises that each last 3 minutes or so. Now, 20 minutes might not sound like a lot, but let me tell you what Exercise Inc. has done for me. Not only does it save me a bunch of time and getting the physical activity my body needs, but I lost 20 pounds. Also, following my personal trainer's guidance on a diet and eating habits and routines. So I'm getting help on what to do to stay active inside the gym and live a healthier lifestyle outside the gym as well. Your coach, one-on-one, will help keep you accountable. Exercise Inc. has locations all over town. Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and their brand new location in Fishers. Check them out at exerciseinc.com. Exercise Inc. Change your life in 20 minutes a week. So our government has racked up more than $33 trillion in debt. And you know what they're going to do next? They're going to turn right around and make you pay for it by raising your taxes. Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel. Learn how you could reduce your taxes in retirement with a free customized retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill so much, we become clients.
So if you've saved at least $200,000, schedule your free analysis right now by calling 317-648-5120. Learn how you could reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k, Social Security benefits, and other investment income in retirement. Don't let the government get your money. Schedule your free analysis right now by calling 317-648-5120. 648-5120.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Kevin Reinhardt says this family-owned business has a lot of pride in their work.
Danny started the business back in 1986 here in Danville, and we take a lot of pride in the town of Danville with a lot of repeat customers, people that I've known basically all my life. And it's just nice to continue to do the service that they trust for over 30 years.
You can trust Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Get ready, Indiana. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Indiana, trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
Hi, this is Beth Robazzini. Nominate a veteran for a free water heater and you may win one too. Just go to veteransdaygiveaway.com. Sponsored by B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Danville.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I am going to run some stories by you. You break down all the information and give us a verdict. Is the story anything or not? Is this anything? An off-duty pilot riding as a passenger in the cockpit of an Alaska Airlines flight allegedly tried to turn off the engines of the plane. Thankfully, he was stopped and removed from the cockpit. Here is the on-duty pilot talking to air traffic control.
We've got the guy that tried to shut the engines down out of the cockpit, and he doesn't sound like he's causing any issue in the back right now. I think he's subdued. Other than that, we want law enforcement as soon as we get on the ground and park.
Now, that was the audio of the pilots talking to air traffic control. This was a local TV reporter in Portland, the place where the plane made the emergency landing, kind of breaking down what really was going on here.
This was a flight from Everett, Washington to San Francisco. We understand that this was an off-duty pilot in the jump seat. That is a normal thing for an off-duty pilot to be sitting in the seat behind the pilots, deadheading as it's called, moving from one city to the other but not working. When our sources are telling us this off-duty pilot made some comment about, "I'm not right," and then lunged and tried to pull the fire extinguisher buttons in the cockpit, which then would have killed the engines. There was some kind of pushing, it sounds like, but something went on in the cockpit. The flying pilots were able to take control of the situation, get the non-flying pilot out of that cockpit, and then they were able to make an emergency landing in Portland. That non-flying pilot, now under arrest, 80-some charges of murder. For everybody who was on board that flight last night. Yeah, this was last evening, heading to San Francisco. That pilot, we understand, was about to land in San Francisco to fly a Boeing 737 last night when this went on.
Wow. Just lucky that he wasn't behind the controls and he was, what do you call it, deadheading back to San Francisco or wherever.
Right.
They are wow, 88 charges of murder. Attempted murder, that is?
Right. Anybody that was on the plane, he attempted to kill them.
I mean, they need to look at this guy's background. Who he is, where he's from. Has he been indoctrinated somehow? Or is he just crazy? Is he a lunatic? Is he on drugs? Was he a mental patient?
Because had he been able to make that connecting flight and be the pilot behind the other one, maybe he just crashes that thing into the ocean or into a mountain or something just to kill everybody.
A side note here real quick. We flew Southwest and on our we paid the extra $25 to get in the, one of the front, A-B sections, so you can get on the plane first and get a good seat. So me and my son walk up there and he wants to go all the way to the back. He goes, "Dad, I want to sit in the very back of the plane." I go, "Dude, we just paid $25 to sit wherever we wanted. We could get out." He goes, "Nope, back seat." And so, of course, my wife and Harper, my daughter, sat, relatively close to the cockpit and got their picture. They got their pictures taken in the cockpit afterwards. Those guys are really nice. But actually, the back of the plane, It's a little bumpier, but it wasn't that bad. I'm right next to the bathroom.
Right.
And the flight attendant handed me a couple extra drinks for free.
Nice.
Because he's right there.
Right.
And I didn't mind it. Now, I wasted $25 because I probably could have sat in the back for free.
But you drank probably $25 worth of drinks.
Bingo! Bingo!
Were you the guy that stood up on the plane and tried to walk off the minute it lands, even though you're sitting in the back? One of the people you see at the gates of hell, the people that stand up in the back of the plane?
The only reason I didn't is because I wanted to be good and behave because my son wanted to sit in the cockpit, and they let him and my daughter do that afterwards. So that was pretty cool.
Well, that's awesome.
So sitting back of the plane, not too bad. A little bumpy, but I always have to go to the bathroom. And
right.
You're right there. And if you make nice with the flight attendant, they might slide you a couple extra drink tickets.
Now, you haven't always made nice with the flight attendant.
Well, I haven't been mean to the flight attendant. I brought in my own alcohol.
You were a problem to a flight attendant once.
Which is illegal. I didn't know. I mean, I had no clue it was illegal, but you can get your little 3-ounce little minis through security, and I popped it open, upon takeoff, and just was kind of sipping on it. Had a couple empties with me, and they were going by with the trash, and she goes, "Where did you get those? We haven't served yet." I go, "I brought them with me." Don't you dare do that again. That is illegal. And I go, "Well, are we going to be detained?" She goes, just I was kind of a jerk, but I didn't know. I guess I didn't know that was a thing. I thought I was being clever. I thought I was saving money.
Am I going to be detained? Well, you weren't before, but now, smart ass, you are.
I'm so lucky.
Air Marshal comes over and tases you.
I didn't get the pat down treatment like I had my previous time.
Well, didn't you buy that thing though?
The TSA.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you something. The TSA pass, unbelievable, worth every penny.
The pre-screening deal, right?
Yeah, pre-screening, $80. Don't have to take your shoes off, just to get right through. They were long lines. It was fall break, and we got right through.
Because in the past, you've also got the old rubber glove treatment, right?
Not only, the guy was head full of Franken beans, basically. My daughter was crying.
Aww.
My wife was looking at me with her mouth agape, like it was a show. I go, "Lindsay, get her out of here." She's obviously...
Poor Lindsay's like, even I don't do that to him. It's the name of her Nigel show.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Did you know you can experience the ultimate rejuvenation with our unique hot tubs made right here in Indianapolis? Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs compatible with Epsom salts. Imagine the tensions melting away as you step into the luxury of a Royal Spa hot tub. And now is a great time to invest in your rejuvenation. We built our inventory back up and now have new models, scratch and dents, and even demos ready for delivery. Experience the difference for yourself. Visit us online at royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Do you have a crawl space? Do you know what's in your crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real local Indiana family-owned crawl space and basement repair contractor. Protect your family and your home from your unhealthy crawl space by calling Indy's most trusted, award-winning experts for a free crawl space consultation at 317-407-1868 or SwainCoLLC.com. And don't forget to ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
Every dollar matters when it comes to Medicare coverage. When you enroll with MDY's Medicare, our low-cost plans give you access to over 27,000 in-network providers. $0 primary care copay with no deductibles, plus a generous OTC allowance. Call 833-248-3906 or go to mdwise.org/MDY's Medicare. Enroll by December 7th. MDY's Medicare is an HMO/HMO POS with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in MDY's Medicare depends on contract renewal.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're putting your kids in harm's way. It's 79 and cloudy downtown, low 60 tonight. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 429. It's what Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita calls the next step in the fight to protect kids from harmful, toxic platforms.
What Rokita's talking about there is a lawsuit where Indiana has joined more than 30 other states in suing Meta. That's the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. The states claim that Meta is using features that gets kids to scroll endlessly, go down rabbit holes, and get constant notifications, which all leads up to addiction and poor mental health. Multiple states have also made similar accusations against TikTok. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The White House wants billions of dollars from Congress, but Republicans need to take a closer look at their request, says Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Speaking for myself, I do think it needs to be comprehensive. I think it needs to deal with all of these because they're all interrelated. I mean, what we have now is an axis of evil: China, Russia, and Iran.
President Biden wants over $100 billion in military aid for Ukraine and Israel. Gas is down 3 cents from last week, says AAA. You're paying around $3.27 on average. The United Auto Workers Union is expanding its strike. The UAW announced today around 5,000 workers at GM's Arlington assembly plant will hit the picket lines. The housing shortage is top priority for the mayor of Kokomo.
I'm Ryan Hedrick, and that's because the city will soon be home to a second EV battery plant.
We were short on supply before the announcement of the first battery plant and had shifted gears as a city administration to focus on housing.
Tyler Moore tells Inside Indiana Business that Kokomo is partnering with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation to find a solution to find people homes. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
At the closing bell today, the Dow Jones gained 204 points to close at 33,141. The NASDAQ up 121 to 13,139. And the S&P 500 finished the day 30 points higher to 4,247. Your time is 4:31. Traffic and weather coming up in 1 minute.
The power's out at our house. Coffee table. But since our family has storm-ready Wi-Fi from Xfinity, we can stream or game in the dark. Oh, who moved the couch? So that's what we're doing right now, in fact, is I try and feel around for a seat. Ah, here we go. Oh, cactus? Can I get a little help over here?
Yeah, bro, just let me finish this boss battle.
Sure, go ahead. Medic!
Now you can get fast, reliable internet on the Xfinity 10G network and get storm-ready Wi-Fi when you upgrade, so you can stay connected for up to 4 hours, even when the power goes out. Only from Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Storm-ready Wi-Fi limited to customers within range of 4G LTE cellular signal. Speeds reduced to 30/7 megabits per second. Actual speeds vary. For more details, visit Xfinity.com/stormready.
With traffic, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Donnie, looking at northbound 465, stop and go traffic, 86th Street, 2865, jammed up on the northeast side. Eastbound 465, Keystone over to I-69. Lawrence, northbound 465, stop and go traffic after I-72, East 56. Southbound 65, stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn, and eastbound 70, slow to downtown. From Harding Street to the south split, crash northbound 69 at 82nd Street, slowing us down back to 465. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs and Isaacs. When a car crashes into the side or rear of an 18-wheeler and slides under the tractor trailer, the consequences can be deadly. Attorney Daryl Isaacs is ready to win for you. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com. I'm Man Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Expect mild low temperatures tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s with the potential for scattered sprinkles. Wednesday, much more cloudy with scattered showers possible during the daytime hours. Highs in the mid-70s with breezy winds. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
Your time is 4:33. I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Wow, it's hard to believe holiday season is creeping up on us. And if you're more price sensitive this year, don't forget that Diamonds Direct is the absolute value leader. Direct importer pricing is what they're famous for. They have relationships with diamond cutters overseas that go back for decades. So you could be confident in getting a better diamond that is not inflated in price. So whether it's a winter engagement or a holiday gift, Diamonds Direct, Keystone of the Crossing is where you need to go.
So as you start to think about that fall engagement or the anniversary gift or maybe even something for the holidays, start thinking about Diamonds Direct. They have exactly what you're looking for at the guaranteed best value. period. And the staff is amazing. They will make sure you get the biggest bang for your dollar. They'll break everything down for you. Why would you go anywhere else? DiamondsDirect.com or stop by Keystone at the Crossing. Diamonds Direct. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Trump attorney Jenna Ellis becoming the fourth of the former presidential Trump's co-defendants to take a plea deal down there in Georgia election interference case. Something about what is it? False
aiding and abetting
yeah.
false statements and writings. So basically what's happening here is that it looks like the court system in Georgia is trying to get as many people to turn on Donald Trump as possible. So basically, when it comes time for the actual trial, their whole MO is going to be, look at all of his own people turning on him. That's basically what they want to have happen, because already that Cheesebro guy, Sidney Powell, Kenneth Cheesebro, and Scott Hall, not Razor Ramon Scott Hall, but a separate Scott Hall, Ayo. They have all basically decided to go rat bastard on Donald Trump, too.
Yeah, Sidney Powell. I don't know where Giuliani's at in all this, but...
Mark Meadows, we haven't heard from him yet. I think there's 15 remaining.
It was I wasn't so sure about that crew down in Georgia. Something wasn't right about that thing. And look, the Sidney Powell, I mean, that and Jenna Ellis, for that matter, they're pretty high up with Donald Trump. And I mean, Sidney Powell seems like almost the architect of the Stop the Steal, one of the biggest proponents. And now what? She's asked to say, no, it's not true? How is she supposed to be a credible witness?
Well, see, that's what I'm wondering, too. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but all of these people that you said basically from the beginning are full of crap are now going to be your credible witnesses? I mean, I guess that's how it works, because in New York today, Michael Cohen is testifying against Donald Trump. So if you're trying to keep score of all the Trump indictments and what's going on, the tax fraud case in New York, Michael Cohen testifying against Trump today. And in Georgia, those 4 individuals, and we haven't heard yet from 15 others, flipping and trying to go after Donald Trump to basically save their own ass. The state of Oregon, they've decided that they're going to get rid of high school writing, reading, and math requirements to legally graduate students now.
Sorry?
The state of Oregon.
Why are they doing this?
Well, they claim that having requirements of writing, reading, and math is really harmful to students of color, and the graduation numbers are down. So they're going to try to do some legal stuff here to make the requirements lower.
It's an equity thing.
Right.
I get it. So, this isn't the only thing they're doing. I'm reading this interview here with Christine Drazen. She ran for governor last year, of course, lost to the Democrat there in Oregon by less than 4%. But the overhaul, quote, the overhaul of skills requirement is a bigger issue, she said, as education officials are now considering equity grading instead of the traditional A to F scale. Quote, they are now moving forward with an agenda that says if you cheat, you can't be flunked. If you don't show up, you don't get a 0. They're not going to have homework that they grade because having homework somehow they view as being inequitable. That is what the former gubernatorial candidate for the Republicans was saying about this thing in Oregon. That's crazy.
Feels a little racist, doesn't it? Well, because the minority kids aren't smart enough to get the scores required.
Sure does.
We're going to change the way we do schooling here. And we've talked about this a lot. This is what happens in a lot of public schools. Schools get money based on the amount of people that can pass a certain test. So what happens is they spend most of their time focusing on the bottom feeders, the kids that don't want to be there, that are causing problems, selling drugs, getting into fights, and the kids that want to be there and want to learn and go on to college and study things, sometimes they get ignored in these public school settings. Not every school is like that, but you see that in a lot of places. The teachers the staff will say, well, this student over here, he's kind of got a good grasp of everything. We're just going to leave him alone. Little Johnny over here that's asleep on his desk with his hoodie on, this is where we're going to spend the majority of our time.
So basically, in Oregon, to earn a diploma, you previously had to earn standardized test scores that indicate proficiency in reading, writing, and math, and they're doing away with that.
Right. Not just it's all of it. Reading, writing, math.
And then the board members, the school boards that voted this through saying, now, wait, hold on a minute. We're still going to administer the test. They just won't be used to determine whether a student has the skills to graduate or not.
Did you receive the test? Yes. Here's your diploma. Cue up the pomp and circumstance. Walk across that stage, you big, dumb, ignorant. Oh, goodness.
I guarantee, though, if I tell this news to my son, he'd move straight to Oregon. He doesn't. He hates math.
I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, whatever. I don't think it's asking too much for everybody to have the same academic standards here. If the teacher is teaching the same material to a white kid, a black kid, Hispanic kid, whoever, I feel like then everything's pretty much even, right? It's your job to listen to the material, learn the material, and if you're having a hard time, make other plans to learn the material. But is that my white privilege sticking out? Is that how it works?
I don't know, but again, one of the underlying aspects of this whole story is that it's dating back to COVID policies. And Oregon was one of the hardcore lockdown states that kept kids out of school for a year and a half.
Man,
our kids, lucky enough, we live in a state where somebody came to their senses. They still made them wear masks, and the contact tracing rules were dumb. But at least my kids were back in school in a few months. There
Right.
are other places in this country where kids didn't go back for a year and a half, 2 years.
Like, I wonder how many more classes, like grades of kids coming up through the school system, can we say COVID really screwed them up? Because right now, like, my youngest is a sophomore in high school, and he falls in that category.
Right.
He had home learning when he was going into middle school. Those are important years of learning. So I think we're looking at probably a good 10-year run of kids that are affected by this crappy, ridiculous decision of shutting schools down.
They should have been back in school weeks later, like they were in Europe.
Right.
And there were some schools, I believe, out in Iowa, some of those states that didn't shut down at all. There were some schools that still had their baseball seasons and football seasons.
Right.
Just not here.
Right. And teachers' unions, they still want some kids to be at home learning. They still are scared to death of the Rona, even though all the science exists that, look, this is a thing that whether you're wearing your fake little Scooby-Doo mask that does absolutely nothing or not, might still happen to you, whether you get vaxxed or not, whether you're in school or at home. Keeping it on the northwest part of the United States here, a state senator from Washington, Jeff Wilson, arrested in Hong Kong for carrying a gun while on a 5-week vacation with his wife.
Ooh, boy. Oh, no.
So he packed his weapon in his luggage, checked it all, did the things right here in the United States. But over there, private ownership of guns is outlawed by the Chinese Communist Party. And now he's facing 14 years in jail under the Chinese regime for what he claims was an honest mistake.
Oh, man. Huge mistake. I mean, how do you get that stuff through security in the first place? I mean, I guess if you pack it in your luggage, then
Right.
you're able to, but even getting it through customs in China, how does that happen?
Once it, went through the, device in China, they found his weapon, and man, this is not the United States. Like, I get it. You wanted to bring your gun for safety, but if you're that scared, why go to Hong Kong where you're under the rules of the Chinese government?
I'm not going anywhere near China. And it's a shame, too. There's so much I'd like to see in the world. China, I'd love to see the Great Wall of China up close. I'd love to see Hong Kong. There's probably for the things I've said here in the United States, China alone would probably be worthy of me getting disappeared there.
Right. Working in that camp where they send the folks that need to have some labor done.
Re-education camp.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Indianapolis. With Mayor Joe Hogsett, we've made real progress. Billions in new construction. Unemployment at a historic low. 700 new police. $1.2 billion in new infrastructure. Hundreds of new streetlights and thousands of college scholarships. Now Joe Hogsett is fighting the state abortion ban and to get guns off the street. But Joe knows the work isn't done. It's why he's hiring even more police, expanding community policing, and investing in programs that help keep kids out of trouble. And Jefferson Shreve, he supports banning abortion. And after getting an A rating from the NRA, Jefferson Shreve has been against any new gun laws. Jefferson Shreve is bringing Trump-style politics to Indianapolis and trashing our city. Re-elect Mayor Joe Hogsett. Steady leadership in times of change.
Paid for by Hogsett for Indianapolis.
No two breast cancers are the same, and no two treatment plans should be either. At Franciscan Health, we believe in breast cancer care that's specialized to each person, with treatment plans for your specific cancer. Combining compassion, dedication, innovation, and experience, our breast cancer care looks different for everyone because it should be specialized just for you. Schedule a consultation or a second opinion with our cancer experts at franciscanhealth.org/breastcancercare.
The wish you could smell this ad deal. Because if you could, you'd be smelling McDonald's fries right now. And they smell like McDonald's fries.
Smell the delicious savings for yourself with buy one, get one for $1. Choose from favorites like a McChicken, McDouble, or small fries, and get another for $1. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Living healthy is challenging, but it starts with one step. Whether you're ready to take that first step or ready to step up to a new level, the Personal Training Experience will help you do it on your schedule in your home. It's a complete fitness solution with a program customized just for you. They provide the equipment and come to you with 100% in-home training. Workouts will always be challenging, but making them work for you doesn't have to be. Start today by signing up for a free in-home workout at thepersonaltrainingexperience.com.
What is 988? It's a way forward. It's a listening ear. It's whatever help you need when you need it. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers trained crisis specialists ready to talk to you 24/7. If you or someone you love is experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis in their life, call or text 988. Want more information? Visit 988indiana.org.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Georgia Street Tailgates presented by Peterman Brothers. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. before the Colts-Saints game. Free entertainment on the Jack Daniels stage. Food and drinks for purchase brought to you by, in part, Jack Daniels, New Belgium Brewing, Hubler Automotive Group, and the Veterans Administration.
Well, the Tom Emmer era has already come to an end. Earlier today, Tom Emmer, one of the great rhinos in Congress, won the closed-door, secret balloting, bachelor-style contest that the Republicans are doing to see who could be the Speaker of the House. Well, now he stepped down. So we've got that going for us.
He didn't have a shot.
More stories like that coming up in just a moment. Right now, Matt Bear.
Northbound 465, stop and go traffic, 86 up to 865. Eastbound 465 is a mess from Keystone Avenue over to 69, barely moving. Same thing with the northbound lanes going through Lawrence. 465, stop and go from 70 up to I-69. A lot of that's because of a crash on northbound 69 at 82nd. Looking at eastbound 72 downtown, stop and go, Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. And let's do some Halloween stuff. Pumpkins, candy, costumes, Halloween stuff.
I love this. Love this. I didn't know this. Director Wes Craven made Freddy Krueger's sweater red and green in A Nightmare on Elm Street because the combination is the most difficult for the eyes to see. Didn't know there was reasoning behind the color. I just thought it was an awful, scary color to begin with.
So you're telling me there's science involved in Freddy Krueger's sweater?
Wes Craven read this article, said that combo is the most difficult for the human eye to see. So he figured, it would make even Freddy's clothes uncomfortable to watch.
So where does Freddy Krueger rank in terms of horror movie villains? Is he on the Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, I mean he's way up there. He's a top. He's him and Jason.
Right. Michael Myers has to be up there. I think
Myers is up there.
Those are the three. There's room for one more. Is that Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Is it the guy with all the pins? Is it Pinhead?
Pinhead
from Hellraiser.
Yeah.
But I love Wes Craven. I love the Nightmare on Elm Street series when I was a kid. Again, another one of those movies where I go over to my dad's on the weekend, and I was way too young to be watching. I was horrified. Johnny Depp in the first one gets
young Johnny Depp. Yeah.
He sinks into the bed.
Was that pre-Jump Street, Johnny Depp?
Oh yeah, sinks into the bed, and then it's just a whole flow, like an ocean of blood comes gushing out of the bed, if you remember that scene. And it just horrified me when I was a kid. Now, an underrated Wes Craven movie was made after A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. It was called Shocker. Do you remember Shocker? This guy got sent...
I'm not sure I've seen the movie you're talking about.
Not that Shocker. It's the one where the guy's on the cover and he's in the orange jumpsuit and he's in the electric chair. And he got sent to the electric chair. He's a serial killer, but comes back to life. And
I've not seen that one, no.
It's so scary. And John Tesh is actually in that movie. He played the TV reporter.
Well, now I don't want to see it. Like, how bad can it be if John Tesh is in it, right?
It's early on in his career.
Like, if you're trying to scare me, it's really scary. It's super frightening. Richard Marx is in it. Well, I'll take your word for it.
I've never been more terrified. Yeah, who was in the movie? Clay Aiken.
Are we doing anything for like Halloween here as a company? Because we used to have like a company Halloween party under the old ownership.
I don't know.
But I don't know if the new company does like a Halloween party or not. Because, man, it's kind of difficult in 2023 with all of the rules and regulations.
Hi, everyone. This is Kat with a message about tomorrow's office Halloween party. The company wants us to know the following. No dressing as a Karen, since we have people of that name working for the company. No dressing as the opposite sex, as that would be mocking the company's trans policy.
Okay.
No dressing as anything quote-unquote sexy. Nothing political, like dressing as the president's drool nurse.
Okay.
Nothing satanic or religious. Sugarless candy will be provided, no nuts, plus soft drinks and water. I'll be dressed as a giant candy corn again. See you at the party. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, this is what Halloween parties have turned into in 2023, right? You can't dress up like a sexy cat anymore because that'd be offensive to somebody.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm dressing up as a cat for a Halloween party I'm going to.
Slutty cat?
No.
Tony cats.
Allison, does Binks have any meaning to you?
Oh, from Hocus Pocus?
Yes.
Okay.
So
you're the black cat.
My wife, yes. My wife and daughter are going as like the two main characters, like Bette Midler's character and Sarah Jessica Parker's character. But I'm going as the cat.
Why don't you be the third witch?
Who was that? Was that Mary? No. Kathy Najimy? No. I refuse to dress up in women's clothing.
That's where you draw the line at? Dressing up as a cat in a movie that featured Bette Midler, but you draw the line at dressing up as a woman.
Yeah, but Binks. And I do have... I'm going to 2 Halloween parties this week, actually.
Oh, okay.
Friday, got one at the neighbor's house. And then Saturday, there's a neighborhood Halloween party that's outside. DJ.
Costume for both?
Costume party.
Both of them?
A costume for kids.
Okay.
For kid costume.
Can't you just show up and say, I'm a raging alcoholic? Great costume, Nigel.
So, yes, I'm going as Binks for both of them. I might even, you're going to be gone. I might even get into a character here.
I'll be going as a guy sitting on the toilet because it's colonoscopy day. Doing some Halloween stuff here. We played this clip every year. It's one of my favorites. And I feel bad for laughing at it because these kids didn't deserve it. But just hearing the straight-laced news anchor, I think it's in Connecticut, tell this story always makes me laugh.
Police in St. Johnsbury wrapped up their investigation into a smelly Halloween mystery. They tell us a kid didn't get a treat, they got a bag of poop.
Oh, no. Poor kid goes on the door, knocks, trick or treat. Instead of putting some Snickers or Milky Ways or Kit Kats in the bag, he got a bag of poop. Can I hear it one more time, please, Allison?
Police in St. Johnsbury wrapped up their investigation into a smelly Halloween mystery. They tell us a kid didn't get a treat, they got a bag of poop.
You're going to jail if you give a kid a bag of poop, right?
Right.
That's. I mean,
I thought it was bad when I got toast that one year. Somebody put toast in my bag. I'll take toast over poop any day. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Paid for by John Rust for U.S. Senate. Next year, Indiana Republicans will have the choice to pick our next U.S. Senator. But if it's up to Mitch McConnell and the D.C. swamp, we'll have no choice. The Washington elite and political insiders are trying to rig this election for their hand-picked career politician ally, Jim Banks. That's why conservative businessman and Indiana farmer John Rust has stepped up to fight for us. As a lifelong conservative, John believes we need an outsider's voice that's focused on Hoosiers. John Rust is committed to fighting the woke liberal mob, defending seniors by protecting Social Security, and creating an economy that works for middle-class families, not D.C. insiders. While Jim Banks and Mitch McConnell are focused on keeping power for themselves, John Rust is focused on putting Indiana first. Career politicians like Jim Banks are always talking about solving problems. But we can trust businessmen like John Rust to actually get the job done.
I'm U.S. Senate candidate John Rust, and I approve this message.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
24/7 ER care for kids. 24/7 peace of mind for you. Riley Children's Health emergency doctors and nurses are in the ER around the clock at IU Health North in Carmel. Learn more at rileychildrens.org/ER.
Today's kids and teenagers are facing more challenges than generations before. Culture is questioning basic, unchanging truths. Many parents are looking for direction to lead their kids and teenagers onto right paths. I'm Tina Pavey, Director of Next Gen Ministries at Life Church. We believe parents have what it takes to lead their kids and teenagers on a path that leads to life. And each Life Church campus is eager to partner with parents. For more information, visit one of the Life Church campuses or go to lifechurchin.com. Parents, you can do this. We will help you.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Meta is affecting kids' mental health, says your state attorney general. John Herrick reports on a lawsuit. What happened during today's police shooting and what to expect from the rain this week. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios.
News alert. Back to the drawing board again on Capitol Hill. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A long day getting longer for House Republicans as Majority Whip Tom Emmer drops out of the running for House Speaker only hours after winning the nomination in multiple rounds of balloting behind closed doors. Former President Trump today calling Emmer a Republican in name only. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene just telling Fox Business,
"We need a Speaker of the House that reflects the values and the views of Republican voters across the country, and they support President Trump, and they support his agenda."
But California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa tells Fox News it's time to support the majority to reach the number of votes needed on the House floor.
We have to get back to that tradition. Until we get back to that tradition, I don't think, Mother Teresa could get 217 votes as a Republican.
A few of the candidates bested by Emmer earlier today are now back in the running, including Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson and Oklahoma Representative Kevin Hern. Health officials in Gaza reporting hundreds more dead after a wave of Israeli airstrikes. The White House rejecting calls for a general ceasefire, saying right now that would only benefit Hamas, though the U.S. is also appealing for more humanitarian aid to reach Gaza.
We're going to continue to make sure Israel has the tools and the capabilities that they need to defend themselves. We're going to continue to try to get that humanitarian assistance in. We're going to continue to try to get hostages and people out of Gaza appropriately.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby also says there is contingency planning that could include mass evacuations of American citizens in the Middle East, but not any plan in motion at this point. And he notes U.S. chartered flights out of Israel have not all been full. The UAW strike against the big three automakers expanding again earlier today, with 5,000 union members walking out of a GM plant in Texas. GM has since announced more layoffs coming tomorrow in Ohio. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's a rabbit hole that sucks you right in. You've got 77 degrees, cloudy skies. I'm Donnie Burgess. For Michaelis, here's what's trending at 5:02. Dozens of states are warning you that social media can be dangerous.
One of those is Indiana. I'm John Herrick. Maybe you found yourself scrolling endlessly on Instagram or Facebook and going down a rabbit hole from time to time. Well, Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita says he's joined a lawsuit against Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, because it's taking advantage of kids by getting them easily addicted to those platforms while also causing a nationwide mental health crisis. Rokita says Meta is collecting data from kids sometimes, even as young as under the age of 13, and doing so without getting permission from their parents. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Cops in Indianapolis say they shot a man sitting in a tree after he ditched the car he was driving that had sped away from cops minutes before.
When people decide to disobey a lawful order or the direction of an officer, it can lead to this.
IMPD Deputy Chief Kendall Adams says the man told police to shoot him, and they said he was reaching for something in his pocket. There was a groundbreaking today on Marion County's portion of the Nickel Plate Trail. It's a multi-regional trail that runs almost 18 miles. The UAW strike has affected thousands of jobs.
But Kokomo Mayor Tyler Moore says his community is resilient and can weather the storm if local plants are asked to walk the picket line.
Kokomo, with the long-standing relationship that Stellantis, formerly Chrysler, and UAW have had, we're not unfamiliar with layoffs, however long they may be.
Moore tells Inside Indiana Business that he's optimistic about the construction of a second EV battery plant and what it will do for his local economy. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You've had a break from the rain, but you might want to plan ahead for this weekend, says forecaster Matt Eckhoff.
There's a chance of some thunderstorms maybe this weekend, but as of right now, I wouldn't be expecting any severe weather based on the weather pattern setting up over the weekend.
Your time is 5:04. Traffic and weather up next.
Basements get a bad rap. Probably because so many of them are wet, leaky, and musty. Thanks to screenwriters, crawl spaces aren't very popular either. Michaelis is putting an end to the horror show. Their time-tested waterproofing systems eliminate and prevent water issues. Damp and moldy becomes clean and healthy. And their French drains, vapor barriers, and encapsulation techniques turn crawl spaces into a Disney set. Yeah, okay, that probably went a bit far. But with over 35 years' experience, they have a lot of homeowners enjoying their basements again. Think Michaelis. And think how nice it would be to get rid of foundation cracks, basement leaks, damp smells, and all the nightmares that come with them. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
It's 5:05 with traffic on the fives. Matt Bear, what's going on?
Yeah, Donnie, looking at northbound 465, stop traffic after 79th at 2865. Eastbound 465, a grind from Keystone Avenue 269. Crash northbound 69 to 82nd. That slows us to 465, then stop and go traffic all the way back to I-70. Inbound 65, stop and go before MLK to Meridian Bend. Eastbound 70, too slow to downtown. That's from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. And on the south side, we are stopped now, southbound 465 before Man Road. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs and Isaacs. When a car crashes into the side or rear of an 18-wheeler and slides under the tractor trailer, the consequences can be deadly. Attorney Daryl Isaacs is ready to win for you. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Expect mild low temperatures tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s with the potential for scattered sprinkles. Wednesday much more cloudy with scattered showers possible during the daytime hours. Highs in the mid 70s with breezy winds. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
I can't go along with putting one of the most moderate members of the entire Republican conference in the Speaker's chair. That betrays the conservative values that I came here to fight for.
Oh, man. Life comes at you pretty fast, doesn't it?
That was quick.
So that was Jim Banks, congressman from the great state of Indiana, guy we've had on our program multiple times, coming out earlier, and I'm paraphrasing here, saying, this guy that we nominated to be the speaker sucks. And lo and behold, the breaking news is that Tom Emmer will not be pursuing the gavel. He will not be pursuing the speakership. He has withdrawn his name because ultimately, I think the Republican Party realized they were about to nominate Tom Emmer.
Congressman from Minnesota that Trump referred to as a Republican in name only.
Correct.
Even Kevin McCarthy was looking at this guy going, yeah, that guy's really sad.
Kevin McCarthy thought he was a rhino.
I don't know. The longer this goes on, what do you think of the opinions, the Americans' opinions of Republicans are like, where is it leaning? Where is it going? Where's the pendulum at here with the opinion of the party? Because it's kind of a clown show to me.
It doesn't help. Let's just put it that way. What's happening right now does not help. Now, if the Republicans can get somebody in there that's not a total establishment stooge, they could, in theory, do some great things for the American people.
But they did. Jim Jordan, even Scalise would have been a decent pick. And you said they had, so earlier the nominee, there was a vote, right? And Byron Donalds, congressman from Florida, like a rising star, got a distant third.
Very
I like
distant
him.
third,
I really
yes.
like that guy.
So in their closed door big ceremony, kind of like in Survivor, where you write down a secret name and you show it at the end. Emmer beat Louisiana's Mike Johnson 117-97. And in the round before that, Byron Donalds was a very distant third. So it doesn't look like, as of right now, all the support for anybody is there for the Republicans.
I mean, can we at least get a guy in there that doesn't have ties to George Soros?
Right.
Is that too much to ask?
Because Emmer, this clown that they nominated earlier, he used to be one of these popular vote guys. The popular vote needs to decide the presidency. Let's get rid of the Electoral College and only let California and New York and Texas and Florida pick the winner. That's a great idea.
Oh, no! We suck again!
And this clown, they nominated him to be the speaker, and I think Emmer saw the writing on the wall. He wasn't going to get the votes, so he pulled himself out of the running before he was humiliated on a public stage. Now, also, I don't know if this is true or not. We're seeing some chatter on the interwebs. The Democrats were planning on not showing up to vote and basically pushing this clown through because they would love to have a popular vote rhino be the Speaker of the House. Hell, they could get everything they wanted. It'd be like having Hakeem Jeffries with the gavel.
Which could still happen. Who knows?
Which could very much still happen. So that is the latest with the Speaker of the House. Again, I've kind of adopted Rob Kendall's philosophy. I hope they don't find a speaker. Don't threaten me with a good time.
But didn't Matt Gaetz vote for this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. Like, he's got to be looking around now thinking, I'm the one that started this whole thing, and we better come to a solution pretty quick. I'll just vote for the guy that's worse than McCarthy.
And that's what this guy was. He was way worse than McCarthy. Last night was the mayoral debate on WISH TV, and God bless Phil Sanchez. God bless him for asking the question we have been begging high-profile news anchors to do, high-profile reporters to do. He asked the question right to Joe Hogsett's face.
Mr. Hogsett, we'll go to you on this one again. Let's ask this. Do you agree with the report findings that there was a lack of planning, coordination, and communication? And where were you on the night of the riots?
Well, first of all, the question about the report, I embraced it because I put the committee together. Deborah Daniels and former Justice Myra Selby and Sean Huddleston, the president of Martin University, did a very thorough job. My office fully participated. And in answer to your second question, Phil, I was working from my home. I was in constant contact with my representatives, with IMPD. After things started to dissipate that evening, I got about 2 or 3 hours of rest and got up at 4 o'clock the next day, worked the rest of the weekend, meeting with organizers of the protests, and ultimately issued the order to have the protests ended. And that was effective. It was George Floyd changed the world, not just Indianapolis.
Got it.
George Floyd and his death changed the world. And I'm glad to say that we've had 300 protests since then without incident.
Number one, you're not supposed to have incidents, and call it what it is. It's a riot. It's okay to say that a riot happened. Businesses were looted. Store windows were broken, and 2 people died. You can call it a riot. It's okay. So, Nige, I defer to you. Put yourself in the position of Jefferson Shreve. If you hear that answer from Joe Hogsett, how do you want to respond?
I would have looked at him and said, you just sounded like me trying to explain to my wife why I'm 3 hours late and 10 beers deep. Well, I was in contact with I don't know where there was a lot of ums and uhs and stutterings. It didn't really sound like Hogsett was prepared to answer that question.
Well, hell, why should he be? Everybody's been afraid to ask the question for 3 years. And my favorite part of that is when he starts, the the Hogsett bot starts running out of juice and he just yells, George Floyd!
That's what you do when you're headed towards that brick wall. George Floyd! And then everything's fine.
Right.
You forget about, hey, don't worry about where I was at. George Floyd.
So if you are Jefferson Shreve and you're trailing in the polls by about 10 percentage points, wouldn't you just throw the Hail Mary at this point? You're on a televised debate. This is going to be the biggest audience you have. We're 2 weeks away from the election. Wouldn't you look at Joe and go, can you prove you were at home? Why do you not use your company email? What are you trying to hide? There are reports that state you may have been in rehab in Richmond, Indiana. These are the rumors. Why don't you put those rumors to rest, Joe, and prove where you were at? The rumors will go away if you can prove it. That's all Jefferson Shreve had to do, but instead, we got this.
Well, that all sounds very commendable. It just doesn't sound consistent with all accounts that I have heard from others that were very much on the scene and wrestling with that situation, many of which members of the IMPD and the 911 staffing center and the governor's office. We had a terrific mess on our hands, and the mayor wasn't on the scene. I don't know if he was just working from home. I can tell you that a Mayor Shreve would have been on the scene, whether in an emergency command center or at least on the 25th floor of the city-county building, because that's how you lead.
You know exactly the rumors that everybody else knows, Jefferson Shreve. You know exactly where Joe Hogsett was, and you let him off the hook by that weak, tepid response right there.
He wouldn't have put out the flyers. You got the Shreve flyers asking where Joe Hogsett was the night of the riots. You don't put that out there unless you absolutely know the answer to that question.
And he was so weak last night. Jefferson Shreve was like, look, Joe Hogsett is a train wreck, an absolute train wreck. I mean, the dude has been rumored to be, needing help in his personal life. His marriage fell apart. He, quote, tripped on sandals and got a fat lip. Nobody believes that. This dude is a train wreck. But Jefferson Shreve was up there last night looking like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, he looked pretty nervous.
Freezing up at the side of the cameras. You had the opportunity to bury Joe Hogsett on where he was at in the riots, his response to the riots where people died. You had the opportunity to bury him on crime in the city, and you let him off the hook. Now, the question came up last night of, is downtown safe? Here is Boss Hogsett.
Well, I certainly believe that downtown is the safest neighborhood in all of Indianapolis. Statistics and data show that to be the case. We have a safe downtown, and generally speaking, we have a safe city. Now, the truth is we have a problem with guns, and everybody has guns. The permitless carry that was passed by the Indiana General Assembly has been particularly difficult for the city of Indianapolis. There are more guns in our city than there are people. And until and unless we start meaningfully addressing those issues, we're going to continue to have unfortunate incidents of gun violence. And gun violence brings with it perception problems. And that's why we need to change the direction and make a real difference in the gun availability of guns.
We need to take the guns out of the hands of law-abiding Marion County citizens, and everything will be just fine.
That's what both guys thought last night.
Yeah,
neither one of these guys deserve your vote.
Sanchez, okay, your rebuttal, Mr. Shreve? He goes, what he said?
Old Drinking Joe spitting up there, isn't he? I mean, neither one of these clowns deserve your vote. They really don't. The way Shreve's campaign has been ran by the washed-up hack and the fat guy, the way that Joe Hogsett is, I mean, this dude is one of the worst mayors in America and is going to be rewarded with a third term. A third term. Neither one of these clowns deserve your vote, and the Indiana GOP should be ashamed of themselves for trotting out this campaign with Jefferson Shreve. You had a winnable race with a dude who's got a lot of money, and you crapped the bed. Speaking of a man that craps the bed, here's Matt Bear.
Oh, sure. Looking at eastbound 70, stop and go into downtown from Tibbs Avenue to the South Split. Southbound 65 jams up before MLK to Meridian Ped. Eastbound 465 stopped Westfield Boulevard over to I-69. You start moving closer to Allisonville Road, you get. And on the east side, northbound 465 was stop and go from 70 up to 69. Traffic sponsored by Allworth Financial Uncompromised Wealth Management. Discover Uncompromised Wealth Management because your financial future deserves better. Call 833-GO-ALLWORTH or visit allworthfinancial.com to talk with a local advisor today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, it's 77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Are you okay with this? Next.
You already know our police force is now over 300 officers short, and that 800 have left the force under Joe Hogsett. But, of course, public safety is about more than police. So, did you know that Hogsett promised funding and programs to address root causes of crime? The problem is, he didn't deliver, and promises alone don't save lives. The facts are the facts. Too many Hoosiers have become statistics because Joe Hogsett can't follow through.
I'm Jefferson Shreve. Crime is about more than just police. We need to invest in mental health in ways we never have before and really help those in need. I'll double city funding to do it. We need more cops, but also better training, tools, and pay. Public safety isn't simple, but it is a keystone to turning things around. I'm not running against Joe Hogsett because he's a Democrat. I'm running because he's failed our hometown.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Every dollar matters when it comes to Medicare coverage. When you enroll with MDY's Medicare, our low-cost plans give you access to over 27,000 in-network providers. $0 primary care copay with no deductibles, plus a generous OTC allowance. Call 833-248-3906 or go to mdwise.org/MDY's Medicare. Enroll by December 7th. MDY's Medicare is an HMO/HMO POS with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in MDY's Medicare depends on contract renewal.
Basements get a bad rap. Probably because so many of them are wet, leaky, and musty. Michaelis is putting an end to the horror show. Their time-tested waterproofing systems eliminate and prevent water issues. Damp and moldy becomes clean and healthy. They have a lot of homeowners enjoying their basements again. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Hi, this is Beth Rovazini with B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Nominate a veteran to win a free water heater, and you may win one too. Just go to veteransdaygiveaway.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Danville.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer, here's a woman on a Southwest flight getting kicked off the plane because she was petting her dog after being told not to.
No,
I'm not going to have you touch a thing of mine. You are rude. You are a mean person. And I will never fly Southwest again. Unbelievable. Come on, baby girl.
We wish you the best of luck, honey.
Thank you. This will be
I'm
interesting.
sorry. This is ridiculous.
Oh, it's insane. It's insane.
It's not like you even had the dog out. You had it where you were petting it. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Are you okay with Southwest kicking this lady off the flight for petting her dog through the mesh dog carrier?
I feel like we need more information here, because just looking at that story and the way that it's framed, well, that's ridiculous. But did the Southwest team say, hey, everything has to be underneath of you right now, Trey's in the upright position, we're getting ready to take off, it's about to be wheels up, put everything down, phones in airplane mode, let's rock and roll. And this woman keeps getting her dog out, petting her dog underneath of her. Well, listen, why do you get to pet your dog and nobody else gets to do anything else? I don't know. It feels like there are other fights that the staff could have. Like there are worse people on a plane than the woman petting her dog. Like the people, like we say, stand up on the back of the plane when the plane lands. You can kick those people off and send them to Guantanamo. How about the guy, the old grandpa that walks by on his way to the can and crop dusts everybody on the plane? You can kick him off too. But Again, I don't want to judge too quickly. I'm wondering how much of a pain in the ass this woman was before that recording actually happened.
Fair enough. But, I mean, she was petting it through the mesh liner because that's the only thing that would keep the dog calm. She didn't have the dog out. She didn't have it out from underneath the seat, as far as I could tell. And you can also hear other passengers on the plane saying, yeah, sorry, this is ridiculous. That tells me a lot as well.
True. Very true.
Almost half of all pumpkin carving injuries occur this week, Hammer. 90%, 90% happening in the last 2 weeks of the month. Doctors suggest letting the adults do the cutting and using the pumpkin carving specific knives rather than your kitchen knives. That's what we do at our house. We have a kit. We bought a pumpkin carving kit.
Nice.
Here are a couple of surgeons breaking down a safer pumpkin carving strategy for you.
It's really tempting to take that really large butcher knife and kind of say, oh, this will be easy.
You either drive it through the pumpkin and through the other side into your hand, or it slips off the pumpkin and it lacerates the hand.
You know, these small kits are great. You can cut yourself. They're not foolproof, but you have to work a lot harder.
Not super sharp, but sharp enough to open up the top of the pumpkin.
You're okay with the advice of not using the giant, Mike Myers Halloween knife to carve a pumpkin, right?
No,
okay
not at all, because I use the big-ass Mike Myers knife, but I don't get so over the top that I chop off a finger. Who's stabbing this thing like it's a therapy session? And I don't buy the numbers here. You mentioned earlier, they claim 90% of pumpkin carving injuries happen this month. When the hell do the other 10 happen? Like, I would have thought it was like 99%. Like, this is the only month where people are cutting up pumpkins, right? Who's hacking one up in July? Hey, it's 4th of July. Let's go get the pumpkin carving kit. Like, I disagree with that number. I think that number is way too low. And I think if you're grabbing the butcher knife and you're stabbing the pumpkin like it's one of your exes, that sounds like a you problem. I have no problem at all using the big knife.
Now that USC has lost 2 football games in a row, an analyst from the NFL Network says the star quarterback and likely number 1 pick in the draft, Caleb Williams, should consider sitting out the rest of the season. Are you okay with that piece of advice and that analysis?
I think I am.
Wow.
I really am here. And he goes on to say the Heisman is a long shot. College football playoffs, even less likely. And even if USC makes a decent bowl game, it's not going to be like the national championship bowl games. So what's the point? The risk of playing far outweighs the reward. This is a business decision, and I'm here for it. Now, if your team is still in the mix on competing for a national championship, or you have a chance to win the Heisman Trophy, go for it, kid. But I got to be honest, if this were my son, I would say, you're the guaranteed number 1 pick in the NFL draft. You, your grandkids' kids are all going to be set up for your life financially. I would not play another game. That's just me. What about you, Nige? If Connor becomes a really good, let's just say, quarterback.
Sure. No, I'd do the same thing. Yeah. I let the guy on the bench get the reps.
Right.
The guy that's coming up. And that helps the team, actually.
Right. And it's not like this kid hasn't given his heart and soul to USC. He won the Heisman Trophy a year ago. He's played pretty well. Now, he was crap against Notre Dame, but for the most part, he plays pretty well. Yeah, this is a business decision because it only takes one freak knee injury for you never to play football again. And some kid that plays defensive line for, I don't know, Washington State might just try to take you out because of your status. Nah, man, screw that. Sit out, get your money. This is a business.
One of the most underreported in terms of media coverage is human trafficking, sex trafficking, Hammer. I know we're going to pivot here. We're going to get to the news here, but we're going to speak to somebody named Eric Howard, who is the National Development Director of the Institute for Shelter, which works with human trafficking shelters, helping people after they've been trafficked all over the United States, including right here in Indiana. He's going to open your eyes on some stuff that you may not have known and how serious human trafficking is and what goes on behind the scenes. That's next, right after a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Well, that didn't last long. Radar's clear. It's 76 and cloudy. Low 60 tonight. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 5:30. The House Speaker chair has about 3 weeks' worth of dust on it. Republican Tom Emmer was nominated earlier today, but has now dropped out.
Congressman Emmer was earlier touted by House leadership as the choice as the next GOP Speaker nominee. But like Steve Scalise and Jim Jordan before him, pulled out when it appeared he may not reach 217 votes in his caucus to win the gavel. That now means some that dropped out of the running for Speaker, like Kevin Hern of Oklahoma and Mike Johnson of Louisiana, are reviving their bids. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
While the House tries to find its next speaker, the Senate has its own business to attend to. President Biden wants $100 billion in military aid for Ukraine and Israel.
We must send an unmistakable message to our country, to our allies, and our adversaries that America will always spring to the defense of our allies in their hour of need. That's why we must pass this supplemental as soon as we can.
That's Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Temperatures are warmer than normal for this time of year, but that's going to change soon.
Looks like it could be on the cooler side. Continued highs in the 40s through next week into Halloween.
Forecaster Matt Eckhoff says it's also possible that there will be some heavy rain this weekend. You're paying an average of $3.27 a gallon for gas today, says AAA. That's down 3 cents from last week. A second electric vehicle battery plant is coming to Kokomo. Mayor Tyler Moore says it's time to fix the city's housing shortage.
We were short on supply before the announcement of the first battery plant and had shifted gears as a city administration to focus on housing.
That's more on Inside Indiana Business. And inside Indiana traffic, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Donnie, look at a northbound 465 stop and go on the northwest side, 86th Street up to 865. Eastbound 465, that stopped traffic. Westfield Boulevard over to the White River. Northbound 465 and Lawrence stop and go traffic coming up from I-72 Penn Pike. And then look at it, eastbound 70 stop and go from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Southbound 65 full house from MLK to Meridian Penn. This is a crash, Washington Street, east of Mithofer. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Expect mild low temperatures tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s with the potential for scattered sprinkles. Wednesday, much more cloudy with scattered showers possible during the daytime hours. Highs in the mid-70s with breezy winds. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
Your time is 5:33. I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, yeah! My name is Nigel. Hammer's over there. Hammer, you know, the issue of human trafficking is something we've been saying has been underreported for years in terms of media coverage. And now Now, certainly with the porous open border, the cartels are making billions off human trafficking. There was even a movie over the summer, that independent movie, Sound of Freedom, that caused a stir about human trafficking. Not only abroad, but like even right here locally, I think there's still a lot we don't know, especially in terms of the data, and that's where Eric Howard comes in. Eric is a National Development Director for the Institute for Shelter. Eric, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show. How are you?
I am doing well. It's great to be with you guys.
So, Eric, before we get into, I want to talk about what the actual definition of human trafficking is. Before that, just tell us a little bit about your organization, the Institute for Shelter Care, and what it is you do.
Well, the Institute for Shelter Care is a national organization that really undergirds those that are on the front line, and we provide knowledge, skills, tools in the community for ministries that are out there working with survivors and that provide exemplary restorative care to the sexually exploited. So we are working with organizations throughout the United States that provide a shelter or that are engaging these individuals that have come in and that we're simply helping them to leave that life.
Wow. I think there's a broad definition of human trafficking or sex trafficking. Can you kind of nail down what those two are? Are they one and the same thing, and what exactly that means?
Yeah, so human trafficking involves using force, fraud, or coercion for the purposes of sexual exploitation, forced labor, services, organ trafficking, or sexual exploitation of a minor by any means. So there has to be that force, fraud, or coercion for human trafficking to be occurring.
And Eric, over the summer, Nigel mentioned this earlier, that film, The Sound of Freedom, got a lot of people talking about human trafficking. Now, again, Nigel and I have been talking about this for a number of years. Human trafficking, I think, is the most underreported story at a national level. But this movie comes along, and it's got people talking. Now, I'm curious, from your perspective, what was really true about that movie, or were there some liberties taken in regards to what really goes on in the world of human trafficking?
Well, I think like any book, you can't always get the story exactly like you can on the film. And I think what the film really did do is it brought it to the forefront that it does occur. But it was a story. It was taken to be a story, to perhaps create awareness. It doesn't necessarily align with everything that we are seeing. So, for example, our research and what we're seeing is the number one source of where individuals are trafficked is through a boyfriend or pimping. It's filling that relational void, and then they're exploited. The next one, our data indicates, is between 26 and 47% of child trafficking is at the hands of a family member or familial trafficking. And then there's the internet grooming that occurs. So that social media that happens, that we talk about pornography and sometimes we joke about it, but that's a feeder for what is going on. And then I also want to dispel that kind of white van, zip tie, boogeyman myth. It is occurring, but you have to understand that many times the trafficker looks at the body as a commodity that can be reused and reused and reused. So they're fostering and gaining trust. And once that trust is earned, they exploit them.
And Eric, how do these people connect? Is there some sort of social media network? Are there, places on the dark web? How does one, get the ball rolling on this kind of stuff?
Well, it's a sick and twisted world. I don't know if you saw the article that recently, just this week, it became news that a 27-year-old groomed a 12-year-old off of that internet game, Roblox.
Oh, my God.
So
my
it's
kids
a question that people... Yeah, it as a father, you're looking at that, and it's the way they engage. We joke about the whole OnlyFans or the young girl that's, I'm taking pictures of my feet. All of a sudden it takes someone to say, I like your feet. Oh, you have nice feet. Oh, that's great. You're in school. They're gaining that trust. They have this long view in mind. This is not the boogeyman I'm showing up. This is pure manipulation. They're exploiting weaknesses, emotional weaknesses. And there are characteristics that come in it that potentially, I don't want to say predispose, but are characteristics such as poverty and family dysfunction, that there are issues with addiction, and that individuals will come in and perhaps in that dating relationship will introduce that person, that woman, to drugs and get them addicted. So now all of a sudden you're dealing with the sexual trauma that's occurred, but now you're also dealing with an addiction issue. And so the shelters are now having to peel this back layer by layer by layer as they go forth into this. So these are individuals that have been traumatized, and cases where they have been forced to have sex 20, 24, 30 times or more a day.
Unbelievable. Now, Eric, you mentioned something earlier that I think is really important. These people building trusts with these vulnerable victims. Is that really what happened with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and that gross, disgusting pervert island situation that happened there? Is that kind of like the high-profile example?
Yeah, he exploited weaknesses. So if you look at some of the individuals, they were struggling, and he took advantage of their need for money. And when you're 12, 13, 14, how many of us made stupid choices and stupid mistakes? And I'm not saying, please hear me, I'm not saying those survivors were stupid. They were a young adolescent that made a choice that probably had no idea what they were getting into.
Yeah.
And then they became entrenched and they became entrapped, and they used a sense of shame. Pictures were taken. I'm going to tell your mother. I'm going to tell your father. I'm going to go to your school. I'm going to post these. I'm going to tell your youth pastor. You're no good. No one's going to want you anymore. And so think about all the things that we did when we were younger, or even 19, that we would want we joke about it, but we would honestly want no one to really know some of those really poor choices we made, because they have a consequence. But then imagine if someone got a hold of those and started exploiting you. What would you do to protect those secrets, to be able to come out and to get shame? Or if perhaps maybe you didn't have food on your table, or means were tight, or take, the role that a father plays in a young person's life, specifically in their daughter. If you have no male role model in your life, and all of a sudden there's a man that's pretending to care about you legitimately. Oh, go to school, get good grades. All of a sudden, I don't want to offend your audience. I don't think I can. Hey, I'm going to send you a picture of me naked.
Yeah.
But I'm taking this father role. What do I do with this? Well, I trust you because I trust you so much that I know you won't turn me in. Well, hey, I showed up at your volleyball game the other day. I even took a picture, but you didn't even know I was there because I know you said your father couldn't show up. So you see, all of a sudden, it starts to evoke this emotion. Yeah, it is incredibly scary. But I don't want you to think of this boogeyman theme.
Sure.
The majority of it comes from a boyfriend, from a pimp. Keep in mind that data does vary. That there was a recent report that I read that said that 84% of those victims, survivors, actually were domestic, meaning that a majority of them. There are individuals that are coming across the border, and I don't want to turn this into that, but they're coming across the border undocumented, so we can't even get our hands around how many are coming across, let alone how many are trafficked coming across, because it's not like they're reporting and they're not getting picked up. And there's amazing groups here in the city that are doing amazing things to create change and advocate for individual, groups like the Indiana Protection for Abused and Trafficked Humans Task Force.
Yep.
They're doing amazing stuff. Not today, Frank Reich's organization, that they're advocating and initiating prevention strategies, specifically for sexually abused and exploited children. So, and then there's the federal and the local law enforcement that are on the front lines, that are investigating things. And it's not something that we just openly talk about, because there are numerous things that happen.
Eric Howard is the National Development Director for the Institute for the Shelter Care. What can we do? What can our audience do to get involved? Is there a way you can donate? What do you suggest, people that are very concerned about this subject? How can they get involved?
Absolutely. So I think the first and foremost thing is I would love for your audience to become truly informed of what does the landscape look like. Do your research. What do people need? Yes, absolutely. Resources. The number one thing that when I talk to other shelters across the country is they need financial support.
Okay.
They need more. There's a high burnout rate. of case managers, as you can imagine, because of secondary trauma and the stories they hear in and out.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine hearing those stories every day. Yeah.
And some of the things that we are trying to address through our Shelter U program, which we provide to shelters. You can sponsor that, where we undergird them. We have over 20 plus psychological assessments and behavioral assessments, legal releases, but it specifically is for that shelter to gain the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to be a best in practice shelter. And we walk beside them for 36 months. They can certainly visit our website just at the instituteforsheltercare.org, download some of our research, download our report on familial trafficking, the role that faith plays in a survivor's life. We just did a survey of talking about that, and the surveyors that said there is this tension between does faith-based work or not. The number of survivors that said towards the end of it to know that someone legitimately cared and was praying for them was amazing for the transformation of their life, that there was hope. Not this, hey, take 2 scriptures, call me in the morning, but someone was willing to walk in the depths and the depravity and the hurt and the brokenness, and it's not simple. I think for your audience to be informed, they can reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. They can email me directly at just ehoward@instituteforsheltercare.org. You know, if you want to put up the familial study on your platform, feel free to. But I would love just to engage your audience, because I think they're incredibly passionate about the community and what is going on. And when you talk about the most vulnerable being exploited, their voice is taken away.
Well, Eric, we got to leave it there, man. I really appreciate the conversation. This has been eye-opening, and it has been, quite honestly, just jarring to hear some of the things that are going on in this country, and even right here locally in Indiana. That's Eric Howard, National Development Director for the Institute for Shelter Care. Eric, keep us updated, and you're welcome back anytime.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you so much, guys. You have a great evening.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
We've created something special here in Carmel. I'm Sue Finkum, and it's here where I built my business and started a family and served as a leader on City Council, helping our community prosper and increasing government transparency. Now, we're America's #1 rated city, but we're just getting started. Lots of people talk about keeping Carmel the best city in America. But me, I'm the only one with the plan and experience to do it. I'm Sue Finkum. It's simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. And ensure development doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character.
Sue Finkum, the only candidate with the experience and vision to keep Carmel the best city in America, partnering with police to keep our community safe, and ensuring responsible development to help our community thrive.
Together, let's keep Carmel on the path to success.
On November 7th, vote Sue Finkum for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkum Victory Committee.
She's running around. Her breath doesn't smell. Her digestive system is perfect. It has made such a huge difference.
What did this dog parent do for their dog? She switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-sized bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/healthy or text HEALTHY to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/healthy or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a game-changing checking account with cash back. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank. Member FDIC.
I don't know about you guys, but I am so sick and tired of all the government spending. Our government has racked up more than $33 trillion in debt. Think about that number, $33 trillion, and you know exactly what they're going to do next. They're going to turn right around and make you and I pay for it by raising your taxes. Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel, and you need to learn how you could reduce your taxes in retirement. We're clients of Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
If you want to learn how you could reduce taxes on your IRA and 401k so you keep more of your money and the government gets less, contact Bill Demery today, 317-648-5120. I met with Bill over the weekend, and his specialty is making sure the government gets their stinking hands off of your money. So call Bill Demery and set up your time to chat. 648-5120. That's 648-5120. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra on December 26th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Go to WIBC.com for more info.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Yeah, Hammer looking at northbound 465 on the northwest side. That is stop and go traffic from 86th Street up to 865. Lawrence, so much better. Still stop and go, though, northbound 465 from 7 a.m. to Penn Pike. Now into downtown, southbound 65 loaded up, very slow. MLK down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 pockets of slow to downtown from Belmont to the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Royal Spa. Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub. RoyalSpa.com. Royal Spa. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
76 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC. And now, it's time for
Hammer's Heroes! Oh, boy. It's been a while since we've had a Hammer's Heroes edition. Hammer, what is it?
We don't dish these out lightly. We save these for the real heroes living amongst us.
Okay.
Like this Brazilian fitness model who's on a mission to obtain the world's largest butt.
Doesn't that record holder, isn't her name Kim Kardashian?
This Brazilian fitness model, Vanessa Atiadas, claims that she is looking for the biggest circumference based off of body size. She claims she wakes up at 4 a.m., lifts and does a bunch of squats, does weights, goes for a 4K run every day. Her goal is to ultimately get to 51.2 inches of beautiful sculpted backside. Right now, she's only at 49.6. Now, if you listen closely, if you put your ear up to the radio, I think you actually hear Sir Mix-a-Lot having a stroke right now.
I mean, that's a big bodacious booty, isn't it? I mean, like in terms of waist size, like I'm like a 38, 40, and you're telling me her butt size is she wants to get up to 51. Why is she exercising? Why is she just eating loads of crap and fast food and cake?
It's not fattest ass, it's biggest with circumference.
Okay.
So it can't drag. You know, it's not like we're talking about Whoopi Goldberg's ass here.
All right, I got it.
Look up Vanessa Atiadas and you'll see what I'm talking about. She is Hammer's hero. Top stories next.
Hey, I'm an American Standard customer. I actually own an American Standard air conditioning unit that B&W installed at my house a few years ago. Last thing you want to be worried about this winter is your furnace going out. So if you need American Standard service, Hammer will tell you who you need to check out.
B&W, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical in Speedway. Ask B&W about their Premier Club. Premier Club members get a visit from a B&W member in the spring and the fall, where they check all of your electrical connections, voltage and amps on the AC and furnace, gas pressure on your gas furnace, check the airflow, and they also leave you extra filters so you can change it yourself until the next visit. Visit B+W.com. That's B, the word plus, W.com, or just give them a call. 317-243-3581. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Living healthy is challenging, but it starts with one step. Whether you're ready to take that first step or ready to step up to a new level, the Personal Training Experience will help you do it on your schedule in your home. It's a complete fitness solution with a program customized just for you. They provide the equipment and come to you with 100% in-home training. Workouts will always be challenging, but making them work for you doesn't have to be. Start today by signing up for a free in-home workout at thepersonaltrainingexperience.com.
Hey, you're up next. My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Leaves falling and getting stuck in your drains and gutters? Sounds like it's time for some maintenance, and who to call is a no-drainer. Call my friends at Hope Plumbing. They're the experts in the industry and trustworthy plumbers who care about the health and safety of your home. During the month of October, Hope is offering a $49 mainline cleaning with a free camera inspection. So leave your worries behind this fall and call Hope Plumbing at 641-HOPE today to schedule your $49 mainline cleaning.
Rake in big savings at Koenig Equipment this fall. Buy a new John Deere compact tractor and get $1,000 off any in-stock Frontier attachment. Save on blades to level your driveway, rotary cutters to maintain fields, pallet forks to move materials, and much more. Turn to Koenig Equipment, your local John Deere authorities, for the tractor, attachments, parts, and service you need.